everybody, it is Calxiyn and Hunter here. If you guys enjoy our video, our stream, remember that you guys should subscribe, hit that notification bell for future RWBY videos, become patrons over on Patreon to see our reactions an entire week early, and follow us on social media or join the Discord. Now, as we wait for the the YouTube gods to smile down on us and let us know that we actually are streaming.
And that we're not just yelling
sometimes
to ourselves on
it's hit or miss sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So can we just talk about the subtitle thing again?
Oh my god,
just,
again?
No, just like a short form synopsis for them, right? This episode didn't have any subtitles, and the button has been surgically removed, like from the Rooster Teeth website. I don't know if you, oh boy, that was a little too much. I don't know if you guys can see this, but if you look in the corner, the subtitle button doesn't exist. Like the closed caption button is just not there. So, that's where we are with that, I guess. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the stream to pop up on the phone, because I only have one monitor, guys, and Arnold reminds me every day of my living existence how that was the biggest mistake of my life or something. So, that's where we are.
I don't even know how you'd set up two monitors.
Well,
that just seems obsessive.
I mean, I could have set up two monitors if I didn't buy this big one. That's always like the conversation, shall I say.
You could have like a tiny monitor over here.
Yeah, I guess so. Like a little baby
like
monitor.
Those early 2000s TVs that people would put in kitchens, and they look like the TVs from the 50s.
Like just a little, I need like a rectangle one. I think that's what we need. Okay, so why won't YouTube on mobile tell me that I'm streaming? I don't know, but it looks like that the chat itself is up, that we are visible, everything's okay. So YouTube has been having some issues, so I am a bit skeptical and stuff like that. Cal, there's a bug in your hair. I don't see a bug. Is there a bug?
Oh, don't tell me you have lice again.
No, don't say that to them. Don't say that on stream. It's like around the top of my head.
You don't have a, oh wait, don't move. No, there's nothing on there. There's absolutely...
It's just hair, guys. I just have a lot of hair.
That's just what your hair looks like. I was hoping you'd be more panicked about the concept.
I'm not, like... As long as it's not like, I mean, you know, listen, okay, bugs have gotten stuck in my hair before. Let's just all be honest here. No, I'm serious, because it's happened.
And have they nested there?
Ashamed.
Did they create a colony?
No,
yes.
Not like that, Did
they become self-aware? Did they start communicating in between me and my ear?
That's not what I mean.
Yes. Did I have both lice?
Yeah, this is not the Dragon Princess. Okay, good thing it wasn't a spider. I mean... listen, sis, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Anyways.
That would be upsetting.
It would be very upsetting. Okay. Let's just do a good shake, everyone. All right?
Oh no, the bugs are hitting me now.
So yeah, bugs. Anyway, so yeah, let's get into this episode. It's stuff like that. So yeah. Let's get into it now that we're starting. It just, no, like, legitimately, it has happened before, because my hair's curly, right? So, like,
bugs
you know.
Have been trapped in your hair
They have been trapped, like, outside. I'm talking about when I go outside, not usually in my house. Anyway.
Whenever you go outside, that thing that happens
So now with that wonderful introduction, we can get into the actual episode, which had really nice do-do-do-do, like.
It had, like, harpsichord.
Like, it had very, like...
They use a harpsichord,
like, very nice music.
Scenes, but yeah, it felt like music that would go on during a bank heist.
It was really nice. I mean, RWBY's score is so underrated, like, constantly, and so, like, I feel like this was really, it was just really good. This episode was just, ooh, like, what is this?
Is that
we didn't even see this?
Oh yeah, there were like icy nevermores.
Yeah, so there's icy nevermores and icy wolves and icy, like, other stuff.
The woolly boys.
I love how people are like, Cal, this is early. I'm like, yeah, I know, we're not behind.
Yeah, we're ahead.
I will say though, for next week, I have a Disney audition, and so we're gonna be a little bit delayed because the audition's at 10 o'clock, and obviously I can't be in two places at once. So don't worry, guys, we'll be late next week if we disappointed you by being too early. But yeah, so yeah, there's icy Ursa, there's icy, like, Beowulf, like, it's pretty lit, fam. Yeah, like, these are definitely, like, Beowulf, right?
I was really shocked that they have almost, like, husky Beowulfs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting that with, like, the white as being part of their fur and the mix of the frost.
Just dead. I do like how the camera, like...
Is that a dragon?
No, it's the dinosaur.
Okay.
Right? It's
oh,
the
it
pterodactyl.
looks, okay, I
we
didn't
just
notice
get
that
to
it
see
had
its
spiked,
tail and stuff.
Yeah, I
this
haven't
time.
seen its spiked tail before. That's
Right?
very frightening looking.
And so yeah, there's that.
That looks like more of a dragon than the actual grim dragon.
Well, that's a wyvern or a wyvern or whatever, right? So
that
that's
wyvern thing is like changing history.
I just love the camera movement. Like,
yeah, it was all a tracking
in
shot.
the episode.
It felt like it was a drone shot pulling.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that, like a drone.
It was very immersive. I liked it a lot. I was getting immediately nervous of all the horrible nonsense that was happening around here.
Yeah, and then obviously these are the sabers, right? I want to play a game. I want to just see how many faunus we can discover.
Because there's a lot of really cool faunus.
Yeah.
Like new faunus. Okay, how did no one get squashed?
That guy, this person, they should have been dead. Like, the fact that they, like, yeeted themselves over this, like, elephant, I don't know. That was, like, if someone got squashed, that would set a very different tone for this entire episode.
I don't think we've seen what I mean? Humans die yet.
What do you mean?
Like
by a Grimm? I mean, there was Torchwick.
I mean, so far here, I guess we saw that one soldier get swept away.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen, like, a civilian die before.
I guess
I think that would be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing it, like, that would set a very different tone for this episode. But anyway.
Go Happy Huntresses.
And then I guess that's May and Fiona. Yep. They're just, doing stuff.
Someone,
okay,
Bobcat.
so these are the first one. You think they're a bobcat?
I'm getting, just because of the ears, bobcats have those, like, really, like, high peaks of, like, hair.
It looks very, like, chinchilla to me for some reason. Maybe that's just the color, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think that it is? We'll come back to this later.
Apparently
but yeah, I was like, look at them, they're so cute. Like, this is
they're so cute, they're about to get eaten.
No. Like, you know how, like, Majojo, like, drew, like, the panda faunus or whatever she was, like, literally, like, hours after? I hope that he will draw this woman and her child. I think that's really cute.
That kid is so adorable. Oh my god. It's interesting that I feel like they have more like children this.
Well, yeah, I think they had to, right?
This is
they basically made like a child model and decided to use it in a sense. And so I really like Nora.
This is interesting because it looks like she slams her butt directly on the ground. Like I know it's like below her and with her wrist she's keeping herself up in the air. But it still does kind of look like
Do you think that it's painful, that it hurts?
I'm just saying, like, that would, like, destroy your tailbone. That can't be pleasant. Like, I hope she has, like, I don't know, like...
But yeah, it's interesting to see her and Ren separated for this, because, like, they all got team assignments, right? So it's more about composition. Like, Weiss is, like, Marrow's the shooter, and then Weiss is the... mid. And then Nora's, like... the tank. Yeah, there's the tank... Then there's the melee. Am I using these words correctly?
Mage, long distance.
Yeah, there's like boom.
We don't play World
you guys
of Warcraft.
Understand?
Although that made for like I'm upset they didn't use this as the thumbnail.
Why is Blake not using her ribbon to swing on something and get away?
That's
I'm like,
how I
Blake, what are y'all doing? Like,
go back to that there because Rooster Teeth's Twitter account released this as a gift, and I was laughing because like this would be an amazing meme format. You could, like, have Blake be, like, I don't know, Bumblebee fans and have this be heterosexuality or, like,
something like that.
Adam stands running away from good taste. I don't know. Just, it's so memeable and I desperately want it to happen.
I didn't even think about that, to be perfectly honest. I feel like we could do something like with that. We could definitely do something with that. So, I like how this Ursa pushed the other one out of the way. Like,
they're acting like animals, which is interesting. She's using her semblance to kill them. Yeah,
and so that's what I was like, Yang? But no, like she's using her clone semblance, I believe. Because you can see it better and I guess you can't. It's really fast. But if you see, like, this used to be Blake.
She's using,
right here.
Like,
she's
dust
using
to
dust to make clones. Yeah, exactly.
Clones.
And so I guess it'll be your responsibility to keep an eye on the chat.
People are giving some examples of the meme. Blake, me, Mammoth, my college work. Exactly!
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now. It's perfect.
But yeah, I'm like, what, Blake, please, honey, just swing on a pole. And so you can really see, like, the clone here.
Oh, yeah,
and how it bounces off.
So I loved this scene.
This was really fun. So I really liked this one,
lifts the Grimm up.
Well, first, Yang puts the bullets, right? Yeah.
She slides into Blake, and then Elm yeets it up in this world. She can just, like, punch out her arms like that, and they explode. And honestly, I was screaming. I was so happy by that.
But Blake's just like, I had a near-death experience.
I just want more of Elm,
Look
like,
at his little
throwing
ears.
shit
Look
around.
at his little ears. His ears. Hunter. He has little ears.
Oh,
Look at his
cute.
little
I wonder what kind
ears.
of ears
So,
those
like,
are.
okay, so we have a bobcat
Yes.
question mark upon us, and we have, like, some sort of teddy bear situation
Yes.
going on. So, let's keep going. And
I want more of Elm just doing strong lady lifting stuff.
yeah, and, like, Elm and Vine have been around, but they
Yeah.
haven't gotten as much development as Marrow and Clover.
Mhm.
At this point, I'm, like, done with Aesop's theories. I feel like we put everything out
After
into
you
the
did
world.
every conceivable
Yeah,
Aesop
I feel
theory.
like, no, well, we only did 2. We only did Clover's the traitor, or Marrow's the traitor, or everyone except Clover will die, or Clover will die protecting, like, the rest of the Aesops. Or that Hare is the traitor, because she doesn't like friendship. So, really, we only have a couple options, right?
Really, we only have 5 different theories about it.
I think it's funny, so I don't want to get into this too much, but I think it's funny that, especially, this seems to be coming particularly from Tumblr, but people are mad that we dare bring up the theory about the Aesops. Like, I know somebody got on Kaito Dan's case about it, and somebody
About
got on my
having them
case
die?
about it, about having them die. Or having Clover die specifically, because it's like, if they kill Clover, it's Barry or Gazer. Like, they can't kill Clover because he's, like, you know, like, for the representation, and I understand, but at the same time, it's like...
We had that theory before we knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, before we knew any of them. Like, people had that theory just when the trailer came out. You know
Yeah.
what or the intro or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And we just, like,
After
saw
the
the
first
thing of them.
episode.
It's like, oh, well, one of
Yeah.
them's the traitor, right?
Mhm.
Like, we didn't know anything about them as, like, individuals. So that's the first thing. And second, like, as, like, you know, RWBY YouTubers, I guess, if we're analyzing and discussing things, we have to keep in mind, like, the fandom's
Mhm.
sort of theory. I don't know. I guess here's what I would say about it. Like, if we did an analysis and ignored all of the stuff, like, about Crow and Clover just
Mhm.
because we thought it wasn't gonna happen, like, that would be doing a disservice, because
Yeah.
part of analyzing is being able to, you know, pick that stuff out for other people that may have missed it.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And so just because we bring it up doesn't mean we necessarily want it to happen or think it's
Yes.
gonna happen or whatever. It's just like,
Mhm.
okay, this is a theory in the community. We have to
Mhm.
discuss it.
Or,
like-
like, it's a potentiality that we see.
Exactly. And so, like, you know, anyway,
If I feel like people should recognize that, like, if we were down for any theory, it was more theories about, like, Watts being related to someone.
yeah, exactly. What's
Or, like-
related to Pietro
Or, like,
and all that stuff.
Marrow or Clover being a traitor or something like that. And we
Yeah.
were less on the board with them dying and
Yeah.
them being Levi squatted, as we
As
call it now.
as we have said. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that would be, like, shitty if we were like, we don't think Clover and Crow's gonna happen, so we'll just skip it in our analysis, right?
Mhm.
Like, we have to talk about every potential, like, thing and the content that contributes to that thing. So
Mhm.
I just wanted to talk about that before we get into it. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad that Elm and Vine are getting more attention, and I think that the
Vine has a
Aesops
pretty
will
cool-
be
yeah.
in, like, the next season.
Yeah,
like, I
season
don't
8.
think that anything's gonna happen to them at this particular point. Just based off of this episode, it doesn't seem like it would have to be at the very end that they
Yeah.
all get killed off. I don't think that's gonna happen. That's why I'm bringing it up again. I'm like, that's not a potential possibility anymore in
That
my eyes.
or-
You understand what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That or the idea of whether or not they lived or died was being dubious.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know, like, if something really bad or, like, if...
I like how, also, Crow just shoots at that. Oh, I
Yeah,
guess it does
it
go
does
down.
die.
But I was just like, Crow, what do you do? Like, you know what I mean?
And then Clover's
But in my
too-
reaction, I was like, Clover, get off the fucking phone! Alright, like, what do you do?
Oh my god! Grimm are attacking, but Clover has his AirPods in!
I know, I just thought that this could also be a meme. like the AirPod thing, like, something else, and then, like, another one on this
Yes.
one. Like, you know what I mean? Me ignoring my responsibilities, my friends taking care of them for me, and then my responsibility, like, just something like that. You
Mhm.
understand what I mean? Like, I think that's
There's a lot of
definitely
potential
possible.
meme formats taken from this
Yeah.
one episode.
There's a lot going on. And so...
Something that people did from the last episode is the scene where Clover was like, "All right, everyone, scroll out." And
Let's
people
go
put,
lesbians!
Yeah, people put the "Let's go lesbians"
so
thing over
funny.
it. That was
I mean, the
hilarious.
historic meme of this week was Jacques and the clip-on tie situation.
Oh god, yes.
So, I mean, yeah, like, there's that. Like, we
Mhm.
can't really surpass that, to be honest. Like, people
one's
were
gonna beat
starting
that.
to Photoshop Arnold as Jacques. Like, it was getting pretty
I
pretty
saw
funny.
Someone did General Grievous, but instead of the lightsabers, he had different clip-on ties, and he's like, "More to my collection."
Oh
I believe
my
it was.
God.
I believe it was Portal 64.
Yeah, the
and-
selfie meme.
yeah.
Like, there have been so many good memes.
Mhm.
Like, the white, like, here's your clown
Yeah.
card. I liked Weiss holding the clown card. I thought that was
There's-
great.
I feel like
Um,
RWBY community has gotten more meme-ish.
I I love Crow and like they just both jump off the roof.
Yeah.
But like look how many like birds are in the sky, like all of that stuff.
Grim,
or I guess grim birds, you guys understand what I mean. So I love how Marrow like, you know, just does the slashy slash, but then Weiss like
Ooh. This is hilarious. So I don't know if you caught it, but when it goes down, he's holding his tail in. That is
so
such
funny.
a great.
I love that so much. That's such a good moment.
Like little
Character,
detail that they thought of, that like he would be looking after his tail.
I really like Marrow. I think Marrow is my favorite Aesop, at risk of causing controversy.
It's between him
I like
and Elm.
Marrow a lot. Like
it's between
he's so
him and
cute.
Elm. Like I think Clover's like the most like
Look at his face. He's just so cute.
fleshed out, but like just for like a fun character that you can put in every situation.
You know what else I like? I like this.
Sorry.
I feel like you could meme this too. Like me trying to convince my friends to watch the anime, and then my friends or something like that. Like that's how I feel about that meme.
There's possibility. Just Weiss is so adorable.
But yeah, just like Weiss looks like she's coming out from behind a curtain or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you need anything, honey? Condoms? Like a soda? Like that's
snacks.
how I feel. Oh boy. But yeah, and I like that Nora's protecting the people because again, like we're pretty sure that Nora's like
has some connection.
connection to the Winter Maiden and to Mantle, and that's in her backstory. And like, are we gonna get her backstory this season? At this point, I'm
so there's a Sam and Weston pawn shop here.
What's that?
I don't know. Smith and Weston is a gun maker, but I don't know who Sam and Weston are. I don't know if anyone knows if that's
Mantle and Apartments.
Mantle Apartments. I don't know. But so I don't know if anyone can pick up the Sam and Weston
pawn shop thing
reference.
It looks like there's two like, what is this? It looks like there's two fucking boobs on top of the sign. Like, what is this supposed to be?
That's potentially a good point.
Like sunglasses, I guess. But
maybe. Who's Sam and Weston?
I'm just wondering, guys.
My best guess is Smith and Weston, but that's like a somewhat like name-dropping gun manufacturers. Anyways, I love the scene that we're distracted. The scene where all the lights go red. That's such an interesting
and then
motif.
they go blue later, which I think is like a nice little like direction for the scene. But yeah, Nora definitely has some sort of tie to Mantle, and so I'm excited for us to like find out. Now, Bear Dude is back, so we still have Bear
ears.
Ears.
With horns. He gets a speaking line.
He doesn't look like Adam's horns do. Because Adam was a bull faunus and they came out sort of like this.
At an angle, like
this,
with his spiky
but this
hair.
is more like...
That reminds me more of like a goat or like a ram.
It still reminds... Yeah, a ram. It still reminds me of a cow somehow, because don't most cows have like the little like things? Don't they? Have we ever seen a cow?
I think
don't know.
They can have
like,
little nubs, but it's not long.
But yeah, I thought, what's the one with the really long ones?
You're thinking of bulls?
No, like maybe some type of, like,
Longhorn?
Buffalo?
Do
buffalo have stuff like that? I think that's what it is.
They don't curve back as much, I don't think. Yeah. Then again, I've seen a buffalo like once.
I don't know. Like I'm thinking of something in my head, but I don't know the name of the animal. I think it's a buffalo. So yeah.
My best guess is a ram.
And then this girl has horns more like Adam. Yeah. So that's what I was sort of thinking while I was seeing that.
Like bigger Adam horn.
Yeah. Faunus Watch.
Yes.
2020.
Faunus Watch 2020.
Yeah. So.
Wait, go back for a second. Is that woman over? No, that's just a hole in the background. For a second, I thought.
Is that Neo?
No, I forgot. I thought that woman had just a massive afro. And I'm like, is that no, it's over. This is a weird thing to pick up on, but thought
there's two girls beside each other.
Yeah, but that's a hole. But for a brief moment, I'm like, is that a giant afro?
They did better with the hair in this episode, and I'll show you where exactly. Just something that I noticed. I think they did take some of our criticism on that. Not our criticism, like the fandom's criticism. I think
that whole Marrow thing was just a mistake on our part.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in general, like that has been a complaint from people is like that there are black characters, but they don't have, like, you know what I mean? Like Flint hair is very short and like everyone else's hair is just like it's either straight or like it's short, so they don't have to do something like that. You know what I mean? So they don't have to do a black hairstyle.
Green hair, so dare I say they've maybe broached on like
well,
the
that's
anime.
Fine. It's a style. You know what I mean?
True,
maybe Emerald straightens her hair, but I'm just saying. Like anyway, but yeah, I really like this. I
love the sense of panic, them being pressed against a wall, like metaphorically and literally.
Yeah. I like, why are they coming at got Nora angry. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Because they were like, we need to go up to
I
Atlas,
know,
and
but
she's
it's
like,
how
I
could
don't know.
she do? Like, she can't just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, like sometimes in moment of panic, we blame the wrong person.
But then there's the red, and then it turns to blue, right?
Now,
like with the hope.
I believe you
and all
wrote
this stuff.
down.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about doing this.
Because Rooster Teeth, as we bitched about in the beginning of this,
has no fucking subtitles. Yeah, so I just really like this scene. I feel like Nora definitely belongs here. I wonder if our theory is correct that she will stay here at the end of the Atlas arc.
I don't know how I would feel about that. But
so
then again,
Robin comes in and she's like, "Hey everyone, I know you're scared. It's fine. So I'm here with Ironwood and we're gonna..."
And we're holding hands because we're friends now.
Somebody was like that they're getting married, which yes, but also no.
This seems like, out of context, this seems like a very strange still. It's like if you sent...
People are like, "Cal, why are you so early?" And I was just like, we're not early. We're actually have just been late all of the other times that we've uploaded.
But shit, maybe there's something good about being late for this, but...
Anyway.
I want to send someone this screenshot and be like, explain to me this show. Like, what do you think's going on here without any context?
That would be funny.
Because a woman dressed like a pirate and a man dressed like a, I don't know, like a steampunk waiter are like holding hands and their hands are glowing green with a strange symbol in the background. He has one like metal extra eyebrow. I'll show this
to my mom and see what she says, or my sister. We'll find out. Anyway, I think that's funny. But yeah, so Ironwood starts talking basically, and so the truth-telling semblance is because everyone in the world seems to know that Robin has it. They sort of established that,
which is kind of nice world building. That it's like, oh, people would know that about her because
drunk man.
Yeah, fucking Gordon Freeman's still here, and we don't know what that's all about.
And I like how the fighting still continues, but the world just sort of also just stops.
I love Harriet's pause there, like.
Yeah.
Just, it's always, God, there's a lot of style in just very, very small details.
An ancient and terrible evil has infiltrated the kingdom, basically, and so it says, like,
her name is Salem.
That's how it happened at Beacon, that's how it happened at Haven, all of that stuff, and the people sort of come around and watch.
This is only Atlas people know about this.
Yeah,
the rest
because the CCTV tower isn't up. The powerful force goes by the name of Salem, so that's really interesting and, in a sense, dehumanizing. Does that make sense? Like, I find that very interesting, because he says the powerful force goes by the name of Salem. Not that she's a person. Right, because they use, like, they say she and her, right? Like, they use, like, female pronouns, but they don't consider her a human being. It's a great and powerful force. It's not a witch or something like that, or a sorceress.
They think of Salem as a Grimm and not a person.
Yeah,
which is weird for us that see her as a person because we saw that Jin episode.
I just think that that's really interesting in front of Ironwood. That's really interesting for Ironwood, like his mind and all that stuff. Especially when compared to the audience and what we actually know, because. Here's another thing. He knows everything that the kids know now. Oscar told him everything. So even after hearing that Salem was once human and her sort of process, he is now deemed that she is no longer human. Does that make sense? Like, that's what I sort of get from that line. Maybe it's not as important as I'm making it out to be, but I feel like that is sort of important. Yeah, that they're sort of saying, like, because, again, Ironwood knows that she was human and fell in love with Ozma and did the whole thing. And, he knows all that now. And so still he decides to say the powerful force by the name of Salem. And I feel like that's also interesting in terms of propaganda. Does that make sense?
That you're dehumanizing the enemy?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, in this case, it kind of, I don't want to say it works because, Salem's obviously has become something a bit like different, non-human, if that makes sense. But I don't know, it just reminds me of, like, when you hear about war stuff, about, like, people sort of dehumanizing
their enemy.
Like groups of people or other people or like other country, like, whatever the case. I don't know, it's sort of interesting because then you don't humanize her. You don't say that she's a person, you say that she's a great and powerful force, as if she's not.
Which I would argue that episode in Volume 6 did a really good job of humanizing her.
Exactly, and so it's like, ooh, what does this mean, Ironwood? Because, they say he's a Tin Man, too, so he may be like, okay, well, your boyfriend fucking died, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe that's how Ironwood sort of thinks, right? Because we as the audience, I think a lot of people feel really bad for Salem now, but I think for Ironwood, he probably listened to
He's lost
Oscar's
people
story.
to her.
And he's just like, yeah, well, what of it? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, you know, she like, you, like, you know, she condemned the whole world just for her boyfriend. Like, I feel like that's Ironwood's sort of
Afterwards,
attitude.
he was more concerned about the fact that she can't die and not the idea that she was once human.
Yeah, or like what happened to the world before and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how I feel about Ironwood. So Salem seeks to taunt us. I think that's what he said. It was kind of hard to tell sometimes, when he said, like,
if only
they
had, like, a word at the bottom of the screen.
I know.
That tells you what they're saying.
Salem seeks only to taunt us, to turn us against each other. Oh boy. We cannot get ourselves into fear. I think he said let ourselves into fear.
Yeah, we cannot goat ourselves, or like...
Oh yeah, something like that. Into fear and panic. That is what she wants. To divide us. We need to unite and fight back together. And I really like how Ironwood said, every single one of us. Like, I feel, that was a nice, powerful part of the episode.
Like, faunus, human, rich, poor, Atlas mantle.
Yeah, and like, look at Ruby. She's like, he did it. And
he's so proud.
And then there's Ren. Which is good. So, Jean has, the best scene of Jean as a character.
Damn near one of the funniest Jean scenes.
This is the best Jean scene that has ever been written. That's what I'm trying to say.
So he gets up, and so Vine goes up and slams them all.
Yeah, so they can listen to the radio.
Which reminds me of a scene from Spider-Man 2.
Prince of Egypt. Thank you, everyone.
When Doc Ock pushes people to two sides of a train with his long arms. Which, my God, Vine has long arms.
Yeah.
That boy can stretch for miles.
Yeah.
And then...
And then
later on we have, moving forward, everyone's a little freaked out.
Okay, so this was hilarious because he was saying Salem and her minions have come into the city, and then everyone was sort of afraid. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was sort of...
And he names Tyrion and
so
Watts.
I guess what I mean by everyone is, like, Cinder and Neo, so he's like, Salem's minions have entered into the city, and Cinder and Neo are like,
what?
They've entered into the city? Like, they know that we're here?
We thought we were the only ones.
But then he's like, Arthur Watts and Tyrion Kalos, and then they're just sort of like, look at the look on their face. Like, Neo sort of looking up at her, but Cinder's just mad, like, we're the fucking minions. You know what I mean? Like, we're the minions who infiltrated the city. So, at first...
It's so hard to get good media attention these days.
At first, it seems like he's afraid, if that makes sense. Like, it seems like, or not it seems like they're afraid. Like, both of them.
Or maybe at least surprised. Seems like it's
my brain just got fried. I don't know what I'm saying. So, at first, it's like, uh-oh, like, they found us. Like, they know that we're here. But then Cinder's just like, oh, it's Watts and Tyrion. Like, you know what I mean? I thought that was really funny.
Which, can we also talk about how awesome their new character designs are?
I really like Neo's, like, her shoes. I don't know how I still feel about Cinder's, like, lingerie thigh things, but whatever. I mean, it's fine. It has that sort of feather look, like something else that she had before, like that sort of...
That feather brooch thing situation that was on her side, the side of her dress.
Yeah, and so then, Watts and Tyrion are just like, yikes. But yeah, this is the rest of the speech, which we already read, so we're good. Oh, there's another, is that a faunus? Or does this guy have hair? Oh yeah, I saw this thing, like this thing in the back, I thought this was a tail. But no, he has ears right there. It's always the things that we think that we see, as opposed to the most obvious. You know what I mean? Like, this guy has ears. I was like, is that a tail?
Is that a porcupine?
Yeah.
Can we imagine the porcupine spoilers for The Witcher looking like the porcupine knight from...
Oh, no. That would be so sad. Hair. That'd be terrible, actually.
Some people in the comments are saying that they think Cinder looks a little weird. She's like a lot of her body is closed up from that, like...
The cape.
So I think when she fights
Winter,
she rips
she'll rip it up.
Cape.
Yes!
And I'm really down for that one.
Yes, queen. Okay. So, I love Jean here. Jean is just like, single file. Everybody put your hand on the back of each other. You know what I mean? Like,
and it goes up like, you know how to do this. And then they march off like little soldiers. It's so damn cute.
This was such a good scene.
I think Ren or Vine, I can't remember, is like, how do you know how to do this?
Vine says that, yeah.
Oh, Vine. And then Jean's like, taking them to work.
taking them to school.
Like, crossing guard duty. It was so... It was genuine.
It was so great.
The amount of really good Jean moments
yeah.
that are in this season have
I know.
just like,
I just think
I love Jean now.
I think everyone's character has gotten better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think every single character
a lot of Juniper has gotten
in the
a lot
show
better.
has, like, everyone's character has been so elevated for me. And I used to hate John, and I bring this up every once in a while.
I realized this later, is that I used to not really feel a lot of strong ways about Penny. Like, she's cute, but, like, in this season, I would die for Penny.
Yeah.
She's, like, one of the best characters they have going for her. Like, she's just so fun and adorable, and yet she has her heartfelt moments and they explore her character interestingly.
Yeah.
And even, like, Ren is interesting, Nora is interesting. Like, some of those, like, volume 1 kind of side characters that didn't get a lot of development or, like, weird development have just become a lot more likable.
But I think this was really nice for Jean. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was like, at the beginning of our
Look at how everyone's terrified except for the kids.
The kids are like, we know how to do this. We got it. But I don't know. I think it's because the kids already know Jean and trust Jean.
Yeah.
To some sort of extent. And so I feel like so at the end of RWBY, when they do the epilogue and they're showing where everyone is and how they're living their life, I want John to replace Tai Yang at Signal. Because if you guys don't know, Tai is a teacher at Signal. So I want to see Tai, old and gray. He's about to retire, and then he presents his class with their new teacher, and it's Jean arc. And I want Jean to teach the kids. I think that would be so good for Jean's character, because he has the strategy. He knows how it feels like to not have a semblance. He can work with kids,
He
right?
knows, like, the value of working hard and
exactly.
bringing yourself up from nothing.
He not only did his project, and I never really thought about this before until someone told me, he not only did his history report, but he also did Cardin's. And he made it different enough so they didn't both get plagiarized, right? And so, like, Jean's very smart, and people don't realize
also
that.
An idiot.
Yeah, he's school smart, but
people dumb.
He's a himbo.
He's a big himbo, I would argue.
And so I want John to be a teacher, and I want him to teach at Signal, and that's what I want.
I feel like we need to create a video of what we think the
RWBY
epilogue will be like, because I have an idea. I think it'll be Ruby talking to Summer Rose's grave one last time, when it cuts around the world.
If Summer's dead.
If Summer's dead. Which is odd that...
What is a himbo? So a himbo... The best way to explain this is to use examples, okay? Like,
Kronk.
Kiroshima from My Hero Academia is a himbo.
Yes.
Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove is a himbo. Like,
basically,
it's the essence.
The 3 things you need to be a himbo is, 1, you need to be beefy. And he's gotten beefy recently. Okay. I would agree with that. 2, you've got to be dumb as bricks.
Yes.
But you've got to be 3, a genuinely very good person that respects and loves people.
So, like, sort of goofy and, like, all that stuff.
So
goofy and wholesome. So, wholesome, beefy, and stupid.
Yes.
That is
a himbo. And Jean is really growing into those big himbo boots.
Like, even, like, if Hazel would be a himbo if Hazel had a different personality.
Yes. If
you know what I mean?
If he was dumb and nice, Hazel would be a himbo.
Exactly.
But also, there's difference between himbo and dad, you know?
I know. I'm just saying, like, a younger, nicer Hazel where things didn't all go wrong for him.
But, like, he has a little gray, like, that moves to dad, you know?
So, yeah, I think Cat Noir, to some extent, like, nobody's really buff and miraculous.
He's too much of a twink.
I think Cat Noir is also kind of a himbo. Like, he's stupid, he's goofy and wholesome, but he doesn't have the muscle. It's the suit that gives him the muscle.
He's a slimbo.
He's a slimbo.
Is what he is. He's a slimbo.
God.
And, you know, maybe Jean used to be a slimbo, but now he's reaching that himbo area. But then there's a difference between himbo and dad. Like, Tai Yang is a dad. You know, dad jokes, wholesome, but he's a little older, you know? So you get a dad. Maybe one day, like, that'll be in the epilogue, is Tai gives the, like,
What if John teaches at the school that
Kira
went to instead of the school Tai Yang...
Don't cry, it'll be okay.
Anyway, so differences aside, all that sort of stuff. So we got that. I really like that they sort of use the semblance on the people. But I really like something that Tyrion says here. Like, I love this conversation but they also say,
the
Grimm should have made them into our enemies, not made them make friends. And just how he says it, like, he says friends with such intense disgust. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, there's just, Tyrion, okay, so we made a video on Tyrion being annoying last volume, and you guys, like, flamed us. Like, it had a 50 like to dislike ratio, because here's the thing, I think that people sort of looked at that and were like, uh-oh, it's Adele AKA again, you know what I mean? Like,
what's Adele AKA?
The YouTuber, so, like, you know what I mean? Like, the people saw it and thought it was a hate video, when we try to be a little more constructive, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that everyone's character has gotten a good sort of tweaking and adjusting. Like, I don't think that Tyrion's annoying this volume. I really like his characterization. Last volume, he was getting on my fucking nerves a little bit.
Because before, he would just chew the scenery and not really make a big... He was creepy, but it was also too much. In this one, he's almost like a petulant child that just wants to murder things.
Yeah.
And that's a lot more interesting than just a creepy monologuer.
Yeah. So I feel like they really, like, adjusted him and helped him and stuff like that.
And, like, a line like, why are they friends, is really funny.
Like, the Grimm are supposed to make them enemies, not make them want to be friends.
And just
like,
the
I just love
idea
how
of
he says
Watts
it.
and Tyrion in a room together talking is hilarious to me, because one's, like,
you know
dignified evil and one's chaotic evil.
This was so, like, strangely wholesome, and so, you know, Watts was like, I need a bigger distraction. That's basically what he says, right? And then Ironwood's doing the rest of his speech,
and he's
whatever.
Looking at that, and I think Watts is going to do something with, we're probably going to end up doing a video about this, but earlier in the volume, we talked about, like, oh, someone's going to try to crash that.
Yeah, into Atlas, and then Atlas
think it's going to be Arthur that does that.
Yeah.
I suspect.
Yeah. Isn't it on the ground, though?
Yeah.
Isn't it on the ground in the middle of the... No, because they fly up to it. So it is in the air.
It's
so
in the air. It's just not launched into the upper atmosphere.
Right. I forgot. But yeah, and so I like this. And he's like, you want more chaos than a Grimm invasion? And then Watts is like, if anyone can do it in Remnant, it would be you, wouldn't it? That was so weird. That was so oddly wholesome. Like, that was so nice.
It's like, you believe in me that I can murder more people?
You know what? And I think this is supposed to contrast Cinder and sort of Neo and Emerald and Mercury versus Watts and Tyrion. Does that make sense? Like, Cinder slaps people around and they do stuff with her, like, sort of out of fear, right? Like, to get Emerald and Mercury to sort of obey, she physically assaults them. Whereas, you know, well, she slaps Emerald that one time, you know what I mean? I think she never hit Mercury.
I think she definitely, like, gaslights Emerald a little bit, and the idea that,
no, she slapped her, like, hard a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
But you understand what I mean? Whereas Watts takes a different approach, and, like,
he knows his audience. He knows that, like,
it's not even that. It's like the trope, like, you have the power of friendship, but the villains have the power of friendship too. Like, that's how I feel like it is with these two. Like, I feel like that they're genuinely sort of, I don't want to say that they're friends.
They view each other as equals. Yeah. Because Cinder views herself as a fighter and a mastermind. Yeah. Watts views himself as a mastermind. Tyrion views himself as a fighter. So I feel like almost Tyrion has... Watts. It's that, like, Watts respects Tyrion because Tyrion can do some stuff, even though later in the episode we see Tyrion, like, pull it, or rather Watts pull out a gun.
Do you ship it? Hey.
Do we actually? Oh my god, are we doing a video?
No.
I think we could. I'm not against it. I would have things to say.
But yeah, do you guys understand what I mean?
This is my murder boyfriend. I would be so down for that.
It's sort of like, I don't know. It's a power of friendship sort of thing. I think a good example...
Nuts and bolts.
Nuts and bolts. Because he's nuts and he's
volts.
Right?
Oh, that's so good. Nuts and volts. Oh, man. Oh, we have to do that video now. We're doing that video. I will make Cal do that video.
Anyway, you know, spoilers, question mark, for My Hero Academia, I guess, but, like, there's, Homika and Twice.
Yes.
Right? And, like, they have a sort of friendship, like,
it's
together.
like a buddy cop thing.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's kind of how they are, too. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you have the power of friendship, but we do, too. You know what I mean?
I feel like Toga, like, they're more goofy. These guys are less goofy.
Yeah, they're obviously...
So they're, like, a more serious villain-detective duo.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see what else.
I also like that he's using a whetstone on his, like, we never see people sharpening their... I feel like he's the type of person...
I feel like he picked up a brick, like, from the street. Like, I feel like that isn't, like...
It's a whetstone
is it?
That's what you sharpen knives with.
I don't know, I feel like Tyrion just picked that up and started, like, going to town.
Tyrion would really respect his weapons, and he wouldn't want to do something like that.
Anyway,
but
yeah.
I also like the
I guess
idea
he just
of him,
carries around a whetstone all the time.
I mean, you gotta be. I feel like that's really into.
But yeah, and so this happened. Everyone cheered. So.
And the fact that Nora's looking around and everyone's happy and she's seeing unity between Atlas.
Yeah,
and
you
Mantle.
also have Weiss, Marrow, May. Like that's a Fiona.
Oh, Fiona. So May and
like
Fiona
that's
showed
really
up.
good too. Like that they're all sort of unified.
So maybe because we had
Tyrion
ideas
punched the wall. I didn't notice
before
that.
we do that, we had sort of earlier ideas about.
Well, we already talked about this conversation, so I'll just keep going. Yeah.
Earlier ideas about that Nora seemed to be very conscious of the divide between Atlas and Mantle. So now she's maybe less. She almost appeals like she's seeing like that divide lessen in front of her, and I wonder how, as a character with some not entirely yet explained connections to Atlas and to Mantle, I wonder how that will play out.
I agree. I think that's a good point. So people on Twitter or somewhere I saw complaining, and they were like, Ironwood's so stupid. Like, they were live tweeting the episode. Yeah. But I knew, like, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, guys, Ironwood's not an idiot. Like, and then after they said, I knew Ironwood wasn't an idiot. Like, no, they're publicly broadcasting the message to bait them. That's the whole thing, right? So that... I don't know, that just made sense to me, because Robin's like, I'll be seeing you in the 17th district. Like, how is that not a trap? You know? Like, Ironwood's not an idiot. They obviously did it on purpose.
You think
I wish people would have more faith, because, like, I get that it's live tweeting, and I get that you're literally watching it live, and that's the first thought that goes through your head, but at the same time, I'm like...
My first thought was, like, why are they doing that? Like I didn't
why
put
are you so fast to criticize? Like, this is out of character for Ironwood, he's so stupid! I'm like, no! It's not stupid. It worked, didn't it? Like, you know what I mean? When you saw the plan unfold, like, wait a fucking second, okay?
Yeah. And arguably, maybe it had to do with, I don't know, because I suppose, I feel like Watts would be like, hey, don't do that, it's a trap, but also Watts is like, go murder people, I believe in you. Like, they believe in each other, and then maybe he didn't think that there would be more than just Robin.
So, Cinder's angry. She's like, how did Watts and Tyrion make it here? Like, Vacuo was supposed to be first, and we already knew that, too. So, like, in the other volume, don't you remember? Like, they're like,
I'd forgot until you mentioned that.
Hazel or something, like, Salem's talking to Hazel or something, and she's like, all right, Tyrion, go after, the Spring Maiden, and then you go to Vacuo, right? And then everything sort of changed.
People are saying that the Monkey King is in fact the himbo of Miraculous Ladybug.
Oh, yes. That's also true.
The dog
That's
Kim?
Very accurate. That may be his last, but yeah, Kim is a character from Miraculous.
He is very humble?
Also, he is also the himbo.
I really like Slimbo.
Like, they give him a Miraculous, and then, like, immediately after, they're like, oh god, why did we do this? So yeah, I do agree. Last volume, they mentioned Vacuo too. So yeah, they've mentioned Vacuo twice now, and so we've always sort of known that it was supposed to be Beacon, Mistral, Vacuo, and then Atlas. And I'm not exactly sure why or why it would benefit.
Atlas was so powerful that they
need the rest of the relics. They need the relic of destruction
and more maidens to take them on.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe they just thought that Atlas was particularly weak now. So
but then Salem obviously changed her mind, right? And so Cinder kind of looks sad.
Yeah,
which I thought was strange.
She felt like maybe she thinks she lost the opportunity to prove. She still wants to prove herself, but she realized there's maybe more of a ticking clock. Because
she knows that. Because here's what I think. I think that in her mind she was like, "I'll get to Atlas. I'll get the maiden. I'll get the relic." Like she was sort of thinking, "I'll be the first one at Atlas. I'll
Mom will love me
I'll
again.
supercharge Salem's plan because I already know it. So while they're all in Vacuo, I'll go to Atlas and then we'll win." Like I feel like that was her idea, but then Salem changed the plan and now everyone's at Atlas. So I feel like that is what Cinder is sort of feeling bad about, because it's like if Watts and Tyrion went to Vacuo like they were supposed to, Vacuo, theoretically, let's say, Vacuo could have been captured and then Atlas could have been captured at the same time. And that would have really impressed Salem if Cinder was able to do it all by herself and, like, get Atlas without any outside help. You know what I mean? Like, without Watts. She was able to take the maiden without, like, you know what I mean? Able to take down Ironwood without, right? So I feel like that was sort of her plan. And
she just wants to prove herself to Salem again.
Yeah, and she was gonna use Atlas as an opportunity to do that, but now Watts is here, and so she's like, well, shit, all the stuff that's been going on this entire time, you know, has been because of Watts. So, fuck.
I also think that potentially, like, oh man, what if they beat me to it?
Yeah, and like stuff like that.
Something she might be concerned about.
But yeah, it's interesting because she's turning away from Neo, so Neo doesn't see her weakness, but we as the audience can see her reflection in the mirror. Because I feel like she does want to prove herself. Is it strange? So I have always been against Cinder being redeemed. Okay? And people comparing Cinder to Zuko. Because I don't think that she has anything on Zuko, and this was even before I watched Avatar. I thought Salem had nothing on, or Cinder had nothing on Zuko,
but
right?
You've only seen up to the end of season 2 of Avatar.
And I still think that she has nothing on Zuko, okay? But at the same time, I saw this scene and I was like, doesn't this kind of remind you of Zuko? Like, the whole reason Zuko was going after Aang is because he's been told to by the Fire Lord and he just wants to regain his place as the prince.
She feels like she's fallen from grace from Salem and she wants to gain back that appreciation of Salem.
So yeah, no spoilers for future Avatar, as somebody in the chat has kindly mentioned. But yeah, that's sort of how I feel. I feel like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I feel like she's very Zuko-ish in this scene, and I don't know how that makes me feel.
Because part of what was great about Zuko is that it wasn't a clean arc. He fucks up a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's
he definitely fucks up a lot, okay?
So that's what I find interesting
we'll save this for, like, an Avatar video, right? But the fact at the end, like, Zuko got his character development juice, if that makes sense, and we all think he's gonna go through this transformation, but then he sides with the Zula, that fucking pisses me off. Like, that makes me so mad.
So it's the idea that, like, this may be the version of... This could be Cinder's version of betraying Iroh.
Yeah.
Like, she could, like, maybe have an opportunity to do something good and then not do it here.
Yeah.
If they want to build up the idea of her...
I don't think they're ever gonna do...
I don't know.
I don't think they're ever gonna do
I feel like if there's ever going to be a character that is redeemed, it'll be Mercury and Emerald, or at least
even
Emerald.
Neo. Like, not even redemption for Neo, because she hasn't really done anything so bad to the main cast. Does that make sense? Like, she fought with RWBY and she fought with Yang, but, like, she didn't kill Pyrrha, right? That's basically what I'm saying, like, comparatively. And so, I don't know. There's just something going on there that I'm sort of interested in, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, she is acting intelligently now. I feel like that's also a big thing. I feel like a big part of this is that she's now strategizing and she's not just being rash, if that makes sense, like she was before. She's definitely learned from her mistake. Neo should not be redeemed either. Well, that's a topic for another day. But
I feel like Neo's just Neo.
Neo doesn't need to be redeemed. That's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if Neo, I don't know how to explain this, but you only need redemption, like, as a villain, because you want to turn into a good guy. I don't think Neo falls into the category of a bad guy. Does that make sense?
She's just amoral.
Just Neo, right?
She just does what Neo wants.
And so I don't even think that Neo needs a redemption arc. It's like, if, you know, for some reason she betrays Cinder and sides with Team RWBY, I don't think that would be out of character at all. Because she's acting for herself, and whoever will help her achieve the
in
goals.
her own best interest.
Exactly. And so it's
and if she learns that it was Cinder, actually, or not RWBY that killed...
Yeah.
Maybe if she gets her hand on the relic, she'll ask Jin who killed Roman.
Maybe. What if that's the first time? Oh my god.
What?
What if the first time we hear Neo speak, she's asking a question to Jin?
Ooh. I mean, that could be something. All fairness, I genuinely
I don't want Neo to speak.
I'm okay with Neo never speaking. I would like the idea of Jin just knowing what it is without... Yeah. I mean, Jin's magic.
Yeah, Jin is magic. I would like her... I don't want Neo to talk, to be perfectly honest, but if she ever had to say something, that would be like, it's the ending of this season, it's a post-credit sort of scene with Neo holding the relic, and she's, like, asking the question, and she's like, what happened to Roman? And then Jin is like...
Although, in all fairness, I feel like the recent post-credit scenes, the last two, haven't been a lot.
They haven't even fucking mattered! Because, I hope that they fix that, okay?
Because the one after Volume 5 where Raven goes home,
with Tai,
we haven't gotten anything out of that yet.
And then Salem bringing the army could still happen.
But it's kind of delayed.
Like, they've been so fucking
I feel like before they used to be of more importance. Although, in all fairness, I think the Volume 4 one was kind of iffy, because that was just the scene taken straight out of Volume 5.
But yeah, that is my sort of criticism. I'm pretty sure that at this point the writers
I still really enjoy it.
You know what I mean? Like, the post-credits? Yeah. I think that the writers know, though, because I think that they've heard enough people still complain about Tai Yang and Raven and what's going on with that.
But also, I'm okay with them taking their time with that. I mean, I waited, like, freaking 3 years for more Neo. I can wait.
Yeah,
for more
I
Raven.
know. I'm just saying, like, in general, I think they'll try to make the post-credit scene a little bit more relevant. Little. Just a little bit.
But the idea that, like, Emerald, Hazel, and Mercury are kind of iffy about Salem, and the idea of the flying monkeys, I think that was still cool.
I think they would,
not relevant
I think they would totally run away to Vacuo. I don't know why I have that in my head, which is stupid, because if I were running away from Salem, like you said in our last video, you would probably want to run away to Mistral, or someplace that she's already sort of hit, but at the same time, in Mistral, they're wanted criminals. Yeah. And in Atlas, they're wanted criminals, so they really only have the choices of like Veil, which is still half destroyed, and then Vacuo. So I guess really there are no choices. Anyway,
someone made the point in the comments that Raven and Ty don't really matter right now, and they don't. But like they could also potentially matter. Like if they find a way to like to interject them into the story in a way that feels natural, I'd be all for that.
So I like this. So
but I'd rather have it not.
You said the farm boy has the lamp, and I'm like. I like how they call him the farm boy, and I think Neo nods. Like, yeah, it seems like she nods there. And so I love this because at first, like, this scene achieves two different things, and I feel like that's great. So first, this scene achieves like the sort of telling the audience that RWBY can turn into Neo can turn into people,
or just any person she sees.
And so thank you, Arnold, for saying our thumbnail's nice.
By that logic, you know what she should also turn into?
What?
A penguin.
No! Oh my god!
If she can turn into RWBY, tell me why she can't turn into a penguin.
She could, but no.
Exactly.
I'm not saying
Maybe she could turn into several penguins.
I think that Neo can turn into whatever she wants. I think she could turn into furniture. I think that she could turn into like stuff like that. She can turn into other people.
A small Arctic
she can
flightless
change
bird.
Her appearance, but were they the penguins? I don't know, sis.
This is a hill I'm willing to die on.
I'm just saying. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I think. This scene achieves those two things. Firstly, the scene achieves being able to tell the audience that this is something Neo can do. So when she does it later, it's not that big of a, like, a surprise, if that makes sense. Like, and people are like, Neo didn't do this before, right? Like, now, obviously, that's not I wonder if she can mimic RWBY's voice, because that's something that a lot of people have sort of theorized. Like, what if Neo could also mimic voices? Which I have liked, but
that wouldn't be the same as illusion.
This is a physical illusion, right? Like, Neo sort of shatters away like glass when she changes. So I don't know how the auditory thing would work. Like, I guess she would just think it in her head, right? And then it would come out or something. Like,
when she shattered into glass, did it sound like glass? Because then that would be an auditory illusion glass, as well.
Though.
But
like,
it's fake glass.
Oh, when she shattered into glass in Volume 2.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Did it sound like glass? Because then that would be an auditory illusion.
Right. Does
so
anyone
she would be able to make auditory illusions, meaning she would potentially be able to mimic like a parrot.
Yeah, or something like that.
RWBY.
Yeah, I guess so. I think that's, I don't know. Because semblances evolve, right? But shouldn't they evolve in the same sort of category? Like, it's just that your illusions would grow. Because an auditory illusion is a hallucination, right? Isn't that sort of
so are visual illusions.
I know, but I'm saying how do I explain this? If your semblance is evolving, I would say step 1 is being able to change your own appearance. Step 2 is being able to turn into
People are saying
it
did sound like glass when it smashed. So she would be able to make auditory illusions. So maybe she is able to talk as RWBY.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be able to talk
as herself.
Yeah, I feel like it also wouldn't be like she's not actually talking and the sound just sounds like RWBY. It's more like
it's Lindsay Jones's voice.
No.
Coming out of Neo.
That's what I mean,
RWBY.
but I'm saying it's not. Okay, like, have you seen stuff where the character is talking and you, as the audience, hear the character talking and then it switches and then you hear, like, the character that it's supposed to be? Does that make sense? Like, supposed to be talking?
It's like that.
So I'm saying it's not gonna start, like, it's not Casey, like, how do I explain this? I don't know, it's hard. Like, I would prefer it if Neo wasn't talking and it sounded like RWBY. I would prefer that she's thinking of the words she wants to say and using her semblance, it comes out like RWBY talking. Those are two different things, right? Like, you guys understand what I mean?
So she's not moving her mouth.
She's not moving her mouth.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
She's projecting the sound.
Exactly. Okay. Through her semblance, like, in her mind. Like, I don't want her to open her mouth and, like, for her to talk and have it sound like RWBY talking. Because then it's like, oh, well, Neo can talk after all.
But also, there's the argument of, like, Fox's, there's the idea of, like, Fox's semblance allows him to see, even though he's blind.
No, it doesn't. His is telepathy.
That's right. That's telepathy. No, it's his.
That's
his aura that allows him to see. Okay.
Yeah.
That's aura that allows him to see. So maybe this is kind of a semblance acting as a way to.
I think it would act like she's injured or unconscious. She wouldn't have to speak. Yeah, like something like that. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be like her mouth is closed. She's literally not saying anything, but the sound projects as if it were RWBY. It just comes from her semblance,
but she's
like directly from her semblance, as opposed to masking your voice to make it sound like someone else. That's basically
what I meant. But she can also but I think the idea of her semblance evolving is an interesting idea, and I think we see that in her as we see that in RWBY. I think we see that though more so in the fight versus with Cinder, because a lot of people think that Neo in the bar was an entire illusion, and that the Neo outside of the bar was actually the real Neo, and there's all that trippy stuff, which I think is sort of cool. But yeah, so here's my sort of thing about this too, is here's the best example I can think of, right? So in The Little Mermaid, when Ursula steals Ariel's voice and puts it in the locket, so she starts speaking as Vanessa or whatever, and then her voice sort of melds into Ariel, and she's sort of using Ariel's voice, but her mouth is opening and she's speaking. So it's like she has changed her voice box, with an on and off switch. I don't want that at all. I just want her to stay mute, and I want the sort of, if there is an auditory, illusion or whatever, I want it to sort of be, maybe it could even be no one else can hear it except for the person directed, something like that. Because it's supposed to be hallucinations like Emerald's only affect the person that she's targeting, unless it's everyone around, right? You know what I mean? I think in the past, Emerald, she's targeted a couple people at once, but, she's directed it to just one person, to Yang, whereas Neo, her illusions are sort of physical, she's wearing someone else's skin and everyone can see that. So yeah, I'm not sure how that would, sort of work and all that stuff, but I like this, because that's what it achieves. We as the audience see Neo can do that now, right? So that's one. The other thing is that she's saying, what about RWBY, without actually talking. And so I feel like they've come up with a lot of creative ways to sort of have her miming out.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or her talking to Cinder without having to use the words.
At first I thought she was trying to communicate to Cinder the idea of her pretending to be RWBY.
Well, I think that's it too, as well.
That could be
I think it's three things, right? It's showing the audience she can do that. It's implying that later when she talks to Oscar, she'll turn into RWBY, and then also saying, what about RWBY, right? So it's three different things, because here's what I think, and this was what I was thinking during the reaction. You guys are not gonna like this, okay?
Oh,
okay, so I think that RWBY is going to go up to Oscar, and Oscar's gonna be like, you're back, is everything okay? What am I trying to say? Oh, you're back, is everything okay? Are all the people evacuated? How's it going down there? He's just worried about her, basically. And that he's, expressing the fact, oh, it's nice that you guys are back, and that everything is saved. You say, you helped save the day, RWBY, just something like that. Yeah. And then RWBY just grabs his face and, kisses him. And Oscar thinks that that's because, she's happy to be alive, and she, I don't know, almost died down there, and now she's kissing him before she, how do I explain that? When you're in a near-death experience, and then you go ahead and do the things
it's like the equivalency of kissing dry land. After
not necessarily like that, but it's I almost died. I don't want to have any more regrets. I realize, something like that. Because there are lots of scenes like that where somebody will be like, oh, you're home from the so-and-so, and instead of saying anything, the character will just kiss them. I can't think of an example right now, but you guys understand what I mean. And so then Oscar will be like, RWBY likes me. Swoon. And then Neo will take the relic from his belt and clock him on the head, and he'll be knocked out.
And open his jugular.
Unfortunate.
With her umbrella.
But yeah, so you think Neo will kiss Oscar? I've seen that go around. Yeah, exactly. Neo will kiss Oscar, and that's why we had that awkward scene between RWBY and Oscar before, right? That was what the awkward scene was trying to set up, that Oscar would be easily swayed by RWBY kissing him, okay? And that's why we have, Neon being look at that cute boy. I feel like Oscar has gained an interest in girls, and that's what it's trying to build up to.
Well, for a growing boy his age.
He's easily embarrassed and easily swoon, you know what I mean? Easily swoony and stuff like that. So swoony. I think that she will,
Swoony.
Yeah.
Swoony is now a word.
So I'm saying that she will kiss him as RWBY, take the relic, yoink the relic, and fucking...
Right. But does Neo still have the umbrella? Because I don't think we've seen it yet.
Well, no. She had it.
In Volume 6?
Yeah, she had it while she was fighting against Cinder.
Okay.
But that was before the outfit change. I'm sure she still has it now.
I don't think we've seen her in the new outfit.
But yeah, I'm sure that she will kiss him and then clock him and he'll go unconscious. And the best part about this, okay, is that no one else will be around. Ironwood, gone. Winter protecting the Winter Maiden. So Oscar will just be at the school all by himself, no witnesses, and he'll be knocked the fuck out. And so I thought that Cinder and Neo would kidnap Oscar, but now I don't think that they need to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had that theory last week, and it's a good theory, it's a strong theory, but at the same time, I feel like they don't need Oscar. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe they haven't figured out that Oscar's the reincarnation, because I don't know, would they? What happened in Volume 5? Volume 5's like a dark
They found out
memory.
That, I don't think...
Ozpin! Was Cinder gone by then?
Cinder was in the ground. Cinder was down by then,
She was in the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so, does Cinder, yeah, because remember Hazel goes, Ozpin, because why wouldn't you capture Oscar, though? Wouldn't Salem like that?
No,
wouldn't Salem want you to capture Oscar? Because they're saying to capture the relic, which is fine, but like, shouldn't you kidnap him too? I'm just saying.
No, I think Salem knows, and I think Cinder would know, because Lionheart
But that is Oscar specifically, that it's the farm boy is also Ozpin, right? Like, I know that she knows that there's a reincarnation, but does she know that that's him?
I mean, I guess she can extrapolate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just interesting, because I'm like, would you not kidnap him too? Maybe my kidnap theory is still valid, then I didn't think of it like that. Okay, so take the relic, number 1, and kidnap Oscar. It's all fine. You know what I mean. Just bring him along. And so, I love how Cinder says no! Like, she's like, I don't know, she's like a mom that's like told her child, like, no, you cannot take a candy bar from the cash register. Put it back, right?
We will worry about
Or me when I got the $18 bag of little Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups.
It's interesting that she's more concerned about getting back in good graces with Salem than she is about getting revenge on
I think it's
RWBY.
two things, right? Because here's what she says specifically.
Because she says, like, we need to do what we must before we do what we want.
Yeah, so she says, we need to get what I need, then we can do what we want. So she needs the relic, she wants to kill RWBY. That is the distinction. I feel like that's really good.
I like that, interesting that she needs to be back in Salem's good graces. Well, maybe
she wants to ask it a question. Right? Maybe she doesn't just want the relic to bring it back to Salem. Maybe she has like some unfinished business with the relic. And so, yeah, definitely gonna see RWBY turn into, or Neo turn into RWBY, and then Neo as RWBY kiss Oscar. For sure. Or just like, even just, I don't know, distract him as Oscar by being RWBY. Something like that. Because now they've established that Neo can do this, so they kind of have to do something with it. In my opinion.
Maybe all RWBY would have to do would be like, Oscar, come here. And
last time she did whatever we wanted instead of what she needed and got wrecked for it. Yeah, so like that's, you know, we're gonna do things in the proper order first. But yeah, I really just like this scene. Like Neo and Cinder had such a great scene here.
And then how Cinder realized that she annoyed Neo, so she's like, okay, let's go back and like have a sit down.
Because look at her face, like
honestly, I love them together as like a duo.
I feel like, so
wonderful.
Do you think Neo would kill Oscar? No, because that would just put Ozpin in someone else's body. If they can capture Oscar, okay, because here's the thing, right? If they can capture Oscar and just impersonate him and then keep him alive, like Salem could get rid of the one thorn in her side, which is Ozpin. As long as Oscar doesn't die, that means that Ozpin won't be reincarnated into someone else. So like, say you just lock Oscar up for the next 80 years of his life and take care of him. That means you won't have to worry about Ozpin going into someone else for the next 80 years. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like they wouldn't kill Oscar. I feel like they just kidnap him and lock him somewhere and like feed him to make sure he doesn't die, because like that way no one has access to Ozpin, and that's the most important thing. Do you think that that's right? Did I explain that okay?
No, yeah, you did.
So yeah, I like this because this reminds me of, I guess, what we were talking about with Tyrion and Watts. Like when you really think about it, in a sense, we have sort of discussed this before, but Cinder saw like Mercury and Emerald and whoever as her subordinates, as her, like, you know, you're my minions, right? Yeah. But here she's actually learning from her mistake, and she's sort of she's trying to be an even playing field with Neo. She's trying to show that they are equals, because they are equals in terms of skill, I would say. Like based on the fight. You know what I mean? Well, like, obviously the maiden powers, like, she can always pull that card, but I'm saying that she has to convince Neo that they're partners in this. Not that, like, I'm in charge and you're my minion, you're my new minion. So I feel like Cinder has learned from those previous mistakes, if that makes sense. So yeah, I like how she smiles, because I feel like that it's also part manipulation, because I feel like Watts genuinely is like, if anyone can do it, Tyrion, you can. Right, whereas Cinder... I mean,
he's not lying.
Whereas Cinder is sort of like, okay, how do I manipulate her into getting her to do what I want? And that's the sort of face that sort of gives. But yeah.
I don't know, I just like them as a duo. It's just, I don't know, they're... Oh. And what was this? That she looks at the story... Yeah,
she's like Ironwood and his little toy soldiers, like all of that
This
stuff.
is when she reckons that, like, he sold his brain for his heart.
No, that was Watts. Watts said that.
Okay.
Watts said the Tin Man, like, has a heart but sold his brains, or whatever he said. Yeah, I didn't write that one down. But yeah, Watts said that. I think that was really good. But what Cinder is saying is that, hey, I'm gonna go get the Winter Maiden. She's unprotected. You know what I mean? Ironwood will come and run to protect what's his and all that stuff. But it seems like Neo, I don't know, I guess they're both going.
Yeah.
Because even though Cinder said, I'm gonna go get the Winter Maiden, I feel like Neo wouldn't just sit there. You know what I mean? I feel like that they are going together, but they're splitting up. So while I go into Atlas and find the Winter Maiden, you get the relic, we'll meet back here.
Have they drawn belly buttons on the RWBY characters before? That's the first time I think I've ever, like...
Look at the little belly button. They haven't drawn nipples. Like, Sun has no nipples.
Sun has no nipples, but...
Yeah, Sun has no nipples. I think he has a belly button.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys understand what I'm saying? And so they're both going to Atlas together, but she's like, okay, you're gonna go get the relic, I'm gonna go get the Winter Maiden. And that's why she's like, I know where the Winter Maiden is, I'm gonna go get her. Because she's already like, hey, listen, I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do that, then we'll kill RWBY. So yeah, that's basically what's going on with that.
Also, I have a theory that when she goes into Freya's room, she will, like, slowly walk up.
I love this.
Slowly walk up to Freya, realize that Freya is dead, and turn around, and then there's Winter in the room, and then they'll start fighting.
Yeah, I feel like that would be really good.
Because, like, the best... People trash Volume 5 for having bad or not a lot of fight scenes, and I have, you know, different feelings about that, but the Maiden fight scene was amazing.
Yeah.
The one between Raven and Cinder. And so having, like, another Maiden's fight scene would be so interesting. I'd be so excited for that one.
I think the other thing is, too, I love the idea of Cinder walking into the room and Winter has her back turned, and then Winter turns around in sort of a side profile and one of her eyes are glowing. Like, I just love that. Like, Winter, I guess, like, if you were Cinder Hunter, like, and you were back here, she would turn her head like this and then have... But then that's just... you'd only see half of her head.
Isn't that the same thing that happened with Raven, though?
No!
Because I feel like maybe a different way is like in a horror movie, like, she's looking, like, the look, you see the look on Cinder's face, like, she's dead, and then it pans out, and then out of focus in the background, you see, like...
so, like, Cinder walks into the room, sees... Cinder walks into the room, sees Freya, and then Winter's at the door, and Winter shuts the door behind her.
Not shuts the door, but it's like, it's a close-up on her face, and it's so... It's like you get a view over Cinder's shoulder, and in the background, out of focus, you see Winter, and then you see the igniting eye.
Yeah.
And maybe that could be, like,
that would be good, too. Either way. And so, yeah.
I'm hyped for it, and I get
the people are being rescued.
Yes, en
good
masse
job.
Now. Everyone seems happier.
Question mark? Not really sure.
Bigger ears?
This is a fox. I love the fox faunus. I think this is such a good color. I feel like if they didn't make Roman, like, a racist or whatever, like, I feel like him being a fox faunus, that would have been so good. Because that's his character in Pinocchio, right, is a fox. So if he was actually a fox faunus, like,
then we have
nice.
Penny flying in.
Yeah, and then Blake and Yang, obviously, and they're helping
This is what I like. So then we have also... I kind of think that those mammoth are adorable, but I'm just odd. So she can turn her thing into a rocket launcher. And I was not expecting that. And I just love Elmi even more.
And I love how somehow everyone feels powerful, but at the same time you know why the Aesops are the Aesops.
So do you, like,
Does that make sense?
On the earlier discussion of black hair, thought about the little girl.
Yes! So I saw her and I was like, yes! Finally! Like, this girl has pigtails, I guess, right? Because they're two, like, instead of a ponytail. But I'm like, she looks like that someone attempted to make a black hairstyle. Thank you. Like, curly hair. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not curly like my hair is, like ringlets, but at the same time, at least they're trying.
There's
you know
a lot
what I'm
more
saying?
melanin in that one than yours.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying, is like, this is definitely, like, points for Rooster Teeth. Still would like someone with my particular hair type, but good on them for actually doing, like, you know, the hair types that people have also requested. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not, basically I'm saying it's not curly like I imagine the first curly hair character would be, which is more like my hair and like the sort of like ringlets and stuff, but this is definitely a black hairstyle, so good for them. About fucking time. Thank you. Yeah, so I saw her, and I don't think I said that in the reaction, but I saw her and I was like, yes, finally! We did it!
Because earlier in this, I don't know, earlier in the discussion or in the reaction, you had talked about your snipes with it. I believe it
with the hair stuff again? Yeah, I think I...
Also, this image of, like, her, like, everything's... I love her so much. Honestly, I think she's my favorite Aesop's.
Roman was like, the donkey from Pleasure Island. No, he's not. Roman is, like... Okay, so if you guys have watched Pinocchio, there's, like, the tall fox and then his mute friend, and, like, that's what Neo and Roman are supposed to be.
Neo, listen, alright.
The donkey is the kid on Pleasure Island. I don't think he's supposed to be that one.
Also, Neo's ice cream, so, like, at this point...
They're Afro Puffs, yes, exactly.
They're, like, it's kind of... They played fast and loose with that whole fairy tale rule.
Yeah, I know. It's just, like, Pinocchio's a little confusing, because there's Stromboli, who is the Italian puppet master, right, that puts Pinocchio in the show. Right, there's him. Then there's, I think it's Little John and, like, the big one or something like that. Like, there's the big fox
Pinocchio.
and then the mute one that are, like, cats and foxes and stuff. And then there's the Donkey Island people. That's why Pinocchio is, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird because it's split. It's, like, 3 mini-stories of, like, the adventures of Pinocchio. You know what I mean? Anyway, distraction, I guess. But yeah, there's Hare and Ruby, which I thought, again, that was a nice team up. And all of that stuff, and so then the things are shaking, and I thought, is there a Grimm in the sewer? No, like, it's just the
That would have been cool if there was, like, a crocodile
rumbling.
Grimm and the... I don't know, I'd be down for that, but no, there's an extra big one.
Yeah.
And also, I just thought it looked really cute, like it bumps into
the
wall.
Look at his little mouth, that's so cute!
I don't know
it's
why
so
I
cute.
think they're adorable, but, like...
I mean, it's like they're adorable on the inside, but not
it's
on
like,
the outside, like the eyes
like
and
angry,
stuff.
but also adorable, and that's the favorite kind of mine.
Yeah, and so Penny finally comes in. It's like, too bad you guys don't have Elm with you. Alright, she is the most, like, effective weapon when it comes to this stuff, yeah. But so Ruby tries to use her silver eyes, and I think this was a great scene because it sort of details, you know, because people are like, oh, like, there's no more stakes in Ruby anymore. She can just silver eye all the Grimm, right? And so I get that concern, but they've obviously, you know what I mean? She still can't do it on command because it's loud and it's noisy and she can't focus, right? And so, you know what I mean? Like, when people were worried about it losing the stakes, I get it, like, but at the same time, maybe you should have waited to see
I
that
think
it's not gonna, you know, it's a lot of preemptive judgment, I guess.
And, like, I think Ruby, you can judge them for certain things they did, but I think they had better sense just to make a totally OP character like Ruby. Yeah. And even here, someone like Penny, which we were concerned about being too OP, it still shows that she has struggles.
Yeah, and so here's the thing about this Grimm. This Grimm is intelligent to some sort of extent.
If it is a Goliath.
Because remember, the bigger the Grimm, I guess I shouldn't say the bigger, but the older that the Grimm is, the more it has lived and the more it knows how to fight with humans, basically, is the idea. And
which is interesting for, like, evil, mythic, magical
because you can see how it looks at her and sort of decides, I'm gonna ram you into me, right? And so I think that was a very interesting sort of, I don't know, because, like, Grimm are monsters, but it's also thinking.
Yeah, it's intelligent.
And that makes me uncomfortable, because it's like, are we killing, like, imagine if this was a giant bear, it would still be sad, but a bear is an animal, and so it would still, you know what I'm saying? Like,
bear's just
if
hungry.
there was a giant bear attacking a city, that would still be bad. You know what I'm saying?
But, like,
I would still want them to neutralize the bear. But at the same time, Grimm are supposed to be heartless and, like, all that stuff, but at the same time, it's thinking, and that makes me kind of like, the elephants are kind of cute. And I know that they would kill you, but...
I know, and I think it is kind of
thinking.
cute.
I don't know. That's horrifying, Cal. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, see how it, like, it knows and it boinks Penny into it and then flings her off? So it obviously is thinking and knows that's something to do. So I think that would be interesting.
Penny, are you okay? And then she just...
I loved using this as the thumbnail. Like, so if you guys don't know, my thumbnail method today was using any shots that could be seen as taken out of context and suspicious. So like, this one was Penny dying. The other one was Raven taking over Atlas. The Watts one was pretty self-explanatory. Robin taking over Atlas. And then the last one was Ruby talking to Nia.
Yeah,
just so if someone hasn't seen the episode or whatever, like that would be...
They would be totally thrown off.
Like very misdirection.
Even this was so cute, like her little like bow like lights up and then she's like, I'm good.
You know that story of that woman and like she has a ribbon around her neck and like her husband, like, I don't know, he's not supposed to take it off or something, and then like it's like a kid story or whatever, and then like you remove the ribbon and her head falls off. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? You've never heard of that? Okay, I'm gonna look it up. You guys know what I mean, right? It's like,
I don't know if people do.
Hold on. I don't want to stay too long on this, but
anyways, so at this moment, I realized that, like, I care more about Penny than I ever had in, like, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Like, I think she's cuter, more interesting. I think her design is improved. Just generally speaking, I went from not feeling a lot of strong ways about Penny. I mean, obviously, I thought she was cute. She had good scenes. I was sad when she died originally. But, like, now I want to give my soul to Penny. Like, I absolutely, like... love her.
It's about a girl named Jenny who wears a green ribbon around her neck. And then Jenny meets Alfred, and then Jenny says, Alfred says, Jenny, what's up with the green ribbon around your neck? But Jenny never told Alfred, and she said, you gotta wait to find out. But Alfred kept asking and asking. She even wore the green ribbon around their neck when they got married, and still didn't tell him why. But as they got old and Jenny got sick, she still had that green ribbon around her neck. And finally, as she was dying, she said that she could tell Alfred why she wore the ribbon. And it turns out it's because Jenny is an undead liar. And so basically her head falls off. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, the ribbon falls. And
someone
like,
in the
you take off the ribbon and the head falls off.
You know too many nondescript and weird fairy tales, and I would say, yes, you do.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a fairy tale. It's like a book or something.
Okay, odd choice of
so
literature.
If Penny, like, you take the ribbon off, would her head fall off?
Maybe.
That's what I was saying. I do agree with you though. Like with
She's
what you're saying about Penny.
And so interesting, yeah.
I mean, I think everyone is, but I think Penny benefited from that most. Like, I think that's definitely been elevated the most and stuff. So yeah. So Ruby has an idea, and this was a really good scene, I think. Oh wait.
Also like Ruby's like, we have a plan. It's an anime trope,
right? To be like, we have a plan, and then the other person smiles, but Penny goes, okay, what is it, right? She doesn't, it's not acting like she can read her mind, right?
It's like she's so unaware of, like, how
and
you're supposed to act, she even, like, breaks the third wall.
All by itself. You know what I mean? Like, poor Hair has been here all by herself. If Hair got stomped, that would have been fucking terrible.
Which her arms are, like, breaking, or...
Yeah, her aura just broke, too.
Yeah, and her arms, like, the wires on it glowed red.
To be honest, I was so scared for her. I'm like, Hair, please don't die. Please don't. So yeah, there was that. But I really like just the strategy here, and I really like this scene. I don't feel like we have too much to talk about.
The wide shot was really cool. I got big Dragon Ball energy. Yeah, that one there.
Yeah, that one.
I feel like they could have cleaned it up a little by taking away those two cars that are in the foreground.
I think that's like kind of the point though. It's like that car is crashed and stuff like that. Like the city is, yeah, I don't know. And so they're basically burning off the tusk and using it to impale him, which is a lot more extra considering what Elm did to kill one of these things. But I love it.
But
like,
I think
it's a really nice scene.
What I will say is I don't like how they just trip it. I would have liked if, like, Penny and Ruby jumped up and then
or used her wires, maybe.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Okay, so somebody in my Discord server said, so I don't know if you guys have joined my Discord server, but we have, like, a pilot and, like, all these other people of various professions. Somebody said that elephants historically, like, I guess biologically, you know what I mean? Like, people know about elephants. It's a fact that they have very bad balance and, like, footing, and stuff like that.
Which I did not know that.
So, they're easily tripped, I think, was sort of the implication of
Someone put, you gotta cut down on the ivory trade somehow, and Brian, that is hilarious.
But yeah, even last week it was funny just because, like, everyone was like, Neo hummed, she hummed, and then the pilot in my Discord server was like, well, actually, this is the sound that an aircraft makes when it's doing the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, it was just, it's funny how these things sort of, I don't know, that's what I love about the RWBY community, to be honest, is like, I don't know.
And that Discord in particular.
There's so many people of sort of different professions, and they just know like random shit, and I love it because sometimes it comes in handy. That's all I'm saying. So I will forgive them for just tripping the elephant. That's probably not. You know what I mean? I wonder what Team Funky is doing at the moment. Oh yeah, I'm so glad they're not here. I'm sorry. I'm so glad Team Funky isn't fucking here. I would have been so upset. Spaghetti. Here? I don't want.
I forgot about Team Funky.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh my god. Yeah,
I don't like Ivory and Cobalt's design. I think that they're lazy and I think it's terrible for both of them. And they're supposed to be based off of the blue and gold dress meme, which is fine. But I think Cobalt looks like a Sonic character, like a Sonic OC. Like if Sonic was human mixed in with Sephiroth, and Ivory's okay.
He looks like an anthropomorphized version of Robo-Sonic.
And so that's what I don't like. And so I don't want to see Team Funky again if we get the whole team like that.
Oh my god,
you know what I
mean? Fine.
So yeah, so
I thought
if Team Funky was here without those two, I would appreciate that. But yeah, that's a good question. Like, where is Team Funky right now? Do they just not give a fuck about Mantle?
Are they just in a different scene someplace else?
I don't know, because I guess this is for the Aesops to deal with. Oh, you know what? Like, they wouldn't have their Huntsman licenses. Right?
Yeah, but
Team
like,
RWBY got it.
They were still like in the Fall of Beacon. They still had the fight
well,
when there was a Grim invasion.
That was kind of, you know,
like all hands on deck type.
That was sort of a fuck this shit.
Maybe
you know what
they're defending the Winter Maiden with Winter.
I wouldn't want them to have a job that important.
But would you like if Cobalt and whatever Goldie Boy's name was died horrifically on the hands of Cinder?
Yes.
Would that make it up for you? Okay.
No, but if they were gonna die, I would want them to die here, like in Mantle.
And get eaten? Okay.
But yeah, maybe they're protecting Atlas. Like, I don't know what they can legally, like, what's in their actual jurisdiction. You know what I mean? Because all the Aesops in Team RWBY are like basically, like, Team RWBY is the extended Aesops now. If you think about it, like Team RWBY and Juniper are the Aesops, like, you know, the secondary Aesop team. Whereas Team Funky, I'm like, what? You know.
Which would be weird because Team Funky might be a little older than Team RWBY.
Yeah. But maybe they are just protecting Atlas.
Maybe they are graduated. Like, we don't know for sure. Also, Doggy, Faunus.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see them next episode. Like, they're helping the people that have evacuated, like, settle somewhere in Atlas. Maybe that would be what they're doing. I saw this guy. And, like, I don't know how I feel about his hair.
It almost looks like a fro.
Doesn't it, like the individual pieces? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know about that one, Rooster Teeth, but like at least they're trying. You know what I mean? That's the second hairstyle I saw in the episode where I was like,
You were really focusing on that.
Listen.
Oh, I like that little girl in the background. She's cute.
Like, clap, clap. This looks like could be Neo. It's
not.
My
god, it's Neo.
So here's what should have really how am I supposed to say this? This is what should really have tipped us off, is that the NPCs, the background characters, and then the men have a very specific sort of body type. Does that make sense? But Neo has a giant head, and all the main character girls have giant heads. And so now, in hindsight, looking at the Jacques dinner party episode before the hiatus, when you can see like Neo around, it seems so obvious that it's her, because her head is so big compared to everyone else. But we didn't notice, we didn't catch it. And so yeah, just like, I don't know. It's just like she has a RWBY head on a waitress. Like, we should have noticed. I still kick myself for us not. Because we were like, oh, well, like, what if Neo's disguise is a server or something? But we didn't pick out which one, and I will never forgive myself. So, yeah. That is that about that.
There's Joanne, and then we have Robin. Robin's like, I gotta go bring these people over here.
Yeah, and so...
She runs off down a dark alley, and then Tyrion's stalking her. Tyrion jumps down.
And so Tyrion says... For a little bird, you have quite an impact around here, which I thought was sort of creepy.
My favorite part of this is that Robin doesn't wait for him to stop monologuing to try to kill him. She just shoots. That's really in her character to not suffer fools gladly. Yeah. I really love that small character moment for her.
It's also sort of like breaking anime tropes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of just standing there and letting the villain monologue.
That's the second time between Penny and her,
I really like that. I think it's really good, and it fits with her well. Because she, like, what does she have to fucking care about what this guy has to say? Yeah. She doesn't know him. She doesn't care about Salem. Like, she's not, like, you know, Team RWBY, right?
Other than he almost killed Fiona, so I bet you that she has a grudge against him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. And so he says something like, he talks about Winter like, he talks about Robin like she's Santa Claus in a weird way, like putting smiles on everyone's faces and making them happy. It really upsets me. And I'm like, that's a weird way to describe her. Like, I understand that she's, you know, I guess, like, people really like her, and she's sort of, like, their symbol and all that. Yeah. But that's, like, I don't know, spreading happiness wherever you go. How could you? Like, all of that stuff. I just thought that was funny.
Santa Claus will fuck you up.
But yeah, I don't know. That was just weird. If Neo ends up murdering Ivory and Cobalt as she makes her way through the academy, that is a Calxiyn approved message.
Do you think that they would ever use Santa as a fairy tale to base the RWBY
people
character
thought Nicholas Schnee was supposed to be like Santa, because Nicholas...
Okay.
Saint Nicholas, like, that was supposed to be, like,
maybe,
the
like,
thing.
I don't know,
but
there's
we've seen Nicholas Schnee now, he does not look like Santa, sis. Like,
Santa's not that hot. I'm thinking maybe the Vacuo's leader.
You know what, actually...
might be buff Santa.
I'm gonna retract
Trucker
that,
Santa.
okay? Have you guys ever watched a stop-motion Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
Yes.
Because Santa is hot in that movie. Like, when he's an adult and he has the red hair... Like, and he has the full beard. Like, he's attractive in that movie in a very sort of 50s, like, when the animation came out type of way. I'm not saying when he's Santa, like, when he's old and, like, has gotten, like, fat and all that stuff. I'm saying, like, the Santa Claus Coming to Town Santa. Like, look it up, okay? Look at the DVD cover.
I mean, not that you've also not known to like him thick, Cal, but... So maybe Santa's kind of in your alley.
I'm just... Anyways.
I've seen that one, too. I'm like, he's made of... claymation, like, I don't know how you can...
So yeah, and so Tyrion finds Robin's spread of happiness and good cheer upsetting.
Oh god.
Which I thought that was funny. But yeah, I really like this sort of scene right here. And so I like how he sits on his tail once he realizes, like, he bounces on it once Clover and Crow come in. And so she basically says, like, I'd love to pummel you myself, but Ironwood said I should share. And then Clover's like, well, you're not the only one with a grudge against him. And then, like, Crow says you'll both have to get in line, right?
Which, it makes sense for Crow, because Crow almost died by his poison.
So let's go through everyone's grudges, okay?
Okay.
Right? Tyrion hurt Fiona.
Yes.
He framed Penny.
Yes.
He caused a massacre of her people.
Yes.
Robin has a grudge.
Yes.
Crow was nearly killed by Tyrion.
Yeah.
Tyrion tried to kill his niece.
Yes.
Crow has a grudge. Friends. Clover, why?
So so there's two options. One, they have a history together. My guess was maybe he used to be an Aesop, if that could be, like, way back in the day, but I don't know. I really don't think that's the case. My thing, it might be as simple as, he seemed like...
I don't think they look enough alike to be related, which is something else that we'll talk about later.
My thing is that maybe, like, it's just, like, you framed my boss for murder, and I'm kind of, like, and my outfit for murder, and I'm kind of upset with you. And, like, my allies for murder, like, the Penny thing, like, I could see him having a grudge as well.
But yeah,
so I mean, I'm aware you're one to junk to, like, do they have some hidden past? Are they related?
Here's what I think. I think that one, it is because of Ironwood.
Yeah.
Two, I don't think Tyrion was a former Aesop.
No, that's something I just saw
like
around
10 years
on YouTube.
ago. Like, it seems like 10 years ago, Watts faked his death, and also Tyrion escaped. Like, it seems like Tyrion has been with Salem for sort of a long time. Here's number 3. I think that it's possible that they could give Clover an interesting backstory where he was, like, just a kid, you know what I mean? He was just a kid in Atlas, having big dreams, and then Tyrion serial killed one of his relatives, like either his mother or
maybe
his sister.
His original team he lost to a fight with him. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, but Tyrion was a serial killer before he started working with Salem. I feel like
But he was active in Anima, right?
Yeah, and so I sort of wonder, like, what if that's Clover's backstory? Is that, you know, you understand what I mean? I feel like Tyrion would have no reason going after authority. He just wanted to kill people, and the weakest... Like, obviously, he wants a challenge, too, right? But I'm just a city boy. Anyway.
Wait, no. Born and raised in South Detroit.
But yeah, basically my thought is that Clover, was growing up and that his sister was sort of killed by Tyrion and he wanted justice, and that's why he sort of joined with Atlas, because he thought that Atlas was sort of the strongest, like, place that he could go to and all of that stuff. Like, I feel like that could be the backstory.
I don't know. I think it's...
or at the very least murdered his family. But yeah.
I don't know.
He's been killing people in Atlas. You're reading too much into this. No, I mean, everyone's grudge is personal, right?
Yeah.
Like Robin has a connection to Fiona. Tyrion basically almost killed Crow and Ruby himself, right? So all of their grudges are personal. Like, obviously they don't like what he's been doing in Mantle, but like Robin's grudge is a personal grudge because she didn't win the election and Fiona got hurt and her supporters died. Crow's is personal because it's like, you almost killed me and you almost killed my niece. So for Clover just to have a grudge because it's like, oh, well, you caused trouble. Like, I feel like that's weak,
there's caused trouble and murdered people and also, like, threatened my outfit. Like, presumably... Yeah, I don't know. Like, you'd not like that person.
I know, but I'm just saying there's a difference between holding a grudge. I don't know. Like,
but I like the idea
they're holding a different kind of grudge. Does that make sense?
Yes. It's not the same, which
Clover's
I think is
just very patriotic. I will concede that may be the reason, but I feel like it would be a lot more interesting if Tyrion had killed.
But then it's also like, I feel like it's like we don't need that backstory necessarily. It's just like.
But if he's supposed to have a relationship with Crow, wouldn't that fit into his backstory?
I don't know. Like, but I also don't want to have people monologue at each other.
I know that, but like, what if it's like Clover in his good luck semblance is the reason why he's the only one in his family to have gotten away or something, or if it was just him and his sister. And so it's like, you thought your semblance was a curse because you hurt the people you loved around you, but so did I. Because I survived while everyone else was killed. Right? Like, it could be a sort of connection between them like that.
But I feel like then why did he not bring that up earlier? I mean, I guess it's personal, but still.
Well, yeah, they could do it after they fight Tyrion.
Wouldn't people know that?
Or what if Clover gets hurt by Tyrion and Crow's like, you're gonna be okay. Don't worry, Clover, everything's gonna be okay.
I like that semblance thing. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So maybe afterwards, Clover can have a conversation with Crow about that.
Murdered his former lover. Yeah. Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, he was a huntsman.
Yeah.
He went out there, he got chopped.
Anything, right? And so that's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking more along those lines of, like, Tyrion killed someone that Clover loved or was related to, or whatever the case. And that you have sort of that comparison or that sort of dynamic between them where it's like we've explained it. But obviously, like, the semblance is stuff. Like, I thought my semblance was a curse, but not because I caused anyone to die, but because I was the only one to live. Ooh. Like, something like that.
That could be interesting, I think.
Zuko was lucky to be born while Clover was just lucky to survive. Okay, I mean, yeah. Why is everyone Zuko today?
Well, that's a line of Zuko's. Like,
yeah, it's not a theory, it's a hypothesis, right? That's why we classify, like, things as a theory, discussion, right? Like, you know what I mean? A discussion is, here's our toying around with ideas. A theory is like, Cinder is gonna kidnap Oscar. Like, here's the evidence. Or like, Cinder and Winter are gonna fight each other. Like, that's a theory. This would just be a sort of like, this would be cool if Clover had
I think that's a really cool idea, but I feel like now's not the time to not
now. It would be like
I thought it would be more interesting earlier to like have the idea, because like we know he's a serial killer and we've seen him kill people, but it would be interesting to see him kill someone more close.
So Amity is actually in the sky. I thought it was on the ground getting fixed
it wasn't super high in the upper atmosphere is the issue.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so Watts comes. Is Watts' feet touching the ground? I guess.
I mean,
this part is. That was weird. Just how the screen cap went for a little bit, but yeah, he's just, well, I wouldn't exactly call this finished. Like he's just talking to himself, which is great, but he's also judging the work, right? But what I really like is how all of these shut. Which obviously I couldn't get a screenshot of them shutting.
Which I didn't know if that was his doing or if that
was
Ironwood.
No, that was Ironwood.
Yeah.
And then
initially I didn't know if it was.
He's like, Arthur Watts. Okay, so do you guys want to hear something crazy? I think that Ironwood and Watts are related.
So, let's just name all the people you thought have been related to Arthur Watts.
Pietro.
Jock Schnee.
Yeah.
and now Ironwood. Basically, every
Pietro,
male character,
Ironwood, and Jacques.
Every male character, roughly the same age, currently involved in this arc, you think is related to one another.
Was supposed to be like his uncle or something, not his brother, okay?
We were right in that they worked together.
Yeah, and so we'll, you know, the only, like, we've been looking at Jacques all this time, but what if it was Ironwood all along? I want to make a different video about this because I think there is evidence for this, okay? Now that I'm seeing it, you know what I mean? Because I was so focused on Jacques being related to Watts. I was blinded to the fact that it's actually been Ironwood this entire time. Like, I'm not even joking. Hunter, they are related. Okay, I'm saying that as a fact. I know it. I know that they have to be.
Imagine, what if it actually is just Jacques and...
Because they sort of have, if you look at their face, right? They sort of have a very similar sort of eyebrow situation, if that makes sense. The mustache, like... You know what I mean?
Color
the
eyes,
facial hair,
skin color.
all that. Well, okay, that can be attributed to, you know,
I mean,
half siblings and stuff like that, right? But like, he has blue eyes, he has green. Like, that's not too much of a stretch, right? And so I do get the feeling Watts has something to do with the metal part of Ironwood's body. Yeah, I was actually gonna say that as well. That I think that Ironwood is somehow half machine and Watts was able to help with that. You know what I mean? And so, like, I was sort of thinking about that, like, before. But that would mean that Salem wouldn't... I mean, I guess it doesn't have to. Like, Salem wouldn't have anything to do with Ironwood getting hurt if Watts wasn't with Salem yet. Like, that's what I was sort of thinking. Because if Watts is still, you know, a scientist for Ironwood...
One thing that could be said about Watts is that he can tie a tie.
He can tie a tie. Well, so can Ironwood!
Jacques
can't tie a tie! Right? That's the evidence. Is that Jacques can't tie a tie.
They learned how
so how can we be so blind?
So my guess.
Even their eye shape is sort of similar. Like, their eyes are just similar to me. Like, am I going crazy? I don't know.
My guess is that, so when Crow and Ironwood had their moment, people were like, oh, Iron Crow's gonna be canon.
Oh my god.
And when they talked about that in the background, you could see Miles kind of snicker about it.
Right.
What I think it is that it's not that Crow and Ironwood date or want to date or will date or have dated. I think it was Watts and Ironwood had some kind of past relationship. It could just be professional. I think they obviously knew each other. I think the idea of Watts creating his iron body is really good, but I think that in the youth they were like scorned lovers.
Oh my god.
And now this is just a really bad, like, post-breakup conversation they're having.
Because really, like, how can you... I don't know how to explain this. Like, take this out
Maybe Watts caused Ironwood's injury, which led to his disgrace as Cyber Detective 1.
Maybe in the Paladin incident?
The Paladin incident.
Maybe, that could be it. But, like, okay, so think about it like this. So take this line out of context. Like, James never recognized my genius. That sounds like it could be a sibling thing, sibling rivalry. Or even, like, you know, like, mom never recognized my genius. Like, stuff like that, right? But could it also sound like a lover thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, James never recognized my genius.
Never appreciated me.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
If you say appreciated me,
if you put it in the context of, like, lover and brother, don't both of the lines make sense? I don't know, because I'm just thinking this more of, from the perspective, like, this is going to be a very strange reference to bring up, but there's a musical called The Last 5 Years, and one of the characters wants to be a published novelist, and the other character is trying to be an actor. And the guy, so he's the novelist character, he starts to get book deals and he thinks he's like the new Jesus of writing, basically, or something. Like, he thinks he's the new god of writing and stuff. And Kathy, who is the actor, she can't get any gigs, and that she gets sort of, you know, disheartened and sort of mad at Jamie. And there's sort of a song in the musical where she's sort of saying that she sort of just follows his footsteps and, like, helps him with his stuff, but not the other way around. Does that make sense? Like, and that she's always sort of helping, like, she's sort of the side piece to his, like, oh, that's so great, like, what Jamie's been doing, so good that he has a wife by his side who will support him in his endeavors while nobody's recognizing her. And I feel like if this is a lover thing, it could be the same way. Like, Ironwood's the military leader, he gets all of the sort of, you know, public, like, both respect and then also, like, trashing, as we've seen, like,
yeah.
you know, but also, like, there's a lot of admiration in Ironwood, and he was probably in the military, and he was probably a very young, attractive man, and you know what I mean? All those things sort of fall into it, and it's sort of like, oh, like, Arthur Watts, so good that you help Ironwood with him, like, with him getting his you know, so good that you help Ironwood as an Atlas scientist. It's like, you know what I mean? It's that sort of same relationship dynamic where it's like Kathy only being sort of the side piece to Jamie instead of like people recognizing her for her acting skills and whatever, and then there's Watts only being recognized for what he can do for Ironwood and not his own sort of genius and being underappreciated and stuff. So maybe.
That's I think that it could go either way. I don't know, like people wanted gay Ironwood. So maybe this is a way to do it with.
And does Watts not a twink?
I mean, also like does
Watts not give us gay energy?
Part of me also doesn't want. I don't want like the evil, fashionable, like sly, schmarmy character to be gay, but at the same time, not smarmy. Maybe like condescending, effeminate character.
I do want the gay, fashionable character to be.
That's also
the fashionable.
Evil.
Character to be.
I don't know. It's kind of like Scar, like from
the
Lion King.
And I love Scar.
He's like a human Scar.
I know, and I love that. That's why he should be gay. I understand people's concern, but the thing is, like,
Brian says he's a power bottom. Who's a power bottom?
Ironwood.
I feel like Ironwood.
I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's my thing. Okay, I understand, but again, like people are gonna be like, see, like not only does Cal want you to bury your gays, Cal wants all your gays to be evil. Like someone's gonna say that, but no, that's not it. It's that. You can have, like, RWBY has, like, a gay character overall survival rate of, like, 86% or something like that.
I don't think there's ever been a gay character that died.
No. I don't know. That's what somebody said that there was a gay character. Maybe they consider Roman, because Roman was maybe coded that way. Anyway, so that's basically what they said. Maybe they just meant of all the characters. Like, there was an overall survival rate at 86% and none of the gay characters have died. I don't know. I saw someone talking about it, but basically it's like, killing one gay character when you have 10 other ones that survive is not bury your gays. Having one villain character who is gay when you have 10 other characters that aren't gay are not bury your gays. And I even think,
not like the idea of like gay coding villains. Which
that's what I meant. Did I say bury your gays twice?
Again.
And so I understand what people mean. Well, like the other ones are girls. This is like the male representation and that pool is smaller and I get it. But if you have Ironwood, Clover, and Crow that are all gay, I don't think there would be a problem with Watts also being gay because that's 3 characters that are the good guys, right? And then there's Watts. It's not like, oh, well, the gay men can only be the villains. Like, no, you'd have Crow, Ironwood, Clover, and Watts. And so it's not RWBY making all of their gay characters villains.
Well.
Yeah, Scarlet, if we want to remember him.
Oh,
the pilot was gay, I think.
Yeah,
that's why I guess people are considering the pilot as
they said they were gonna make the pilot have a boyfriend, but they didn't do it because they didn't want the first gay. Well, they weren't gonna.
They wanted to mention it, but he could still be gay even if they didn't mention it.
But then again, that could be with any background character.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Where were we? But yeah, so that's all I'm trying to say is like,
you know what? I'm okay with that.
If all 4 of them are gay or some like variety of LGBT, like maybe Crow's bi, like we talked about that in another video, right? Then it wouldn't be bad if Watts is also gay. You know what I mean?
It's leaning into stereotype, but I would be remiss to say that I didn't at least enjoy Watts.
Yeah, like Watts is such a good fucking character.
Like he's very entertaining to see. It's similar with Roman.
I really love him. Yeah, and Roman too. And Roman, I would say, is very sort of
kind of coded.
Could have been coded as gay. You know what I'm saying?
You could view it as that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good talk, Hunter. But yeah, and so I don't think that would be too much of an issue because if it's like you have Ironwood, Crow, and Clover who are all very different types of people, like body type wise, but also just like character wise and affiliations. Like you have a lot of like
where they are on the villainy hero spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. And so someone's like, not everyone has to be gay, and I'm just like, well, I mean,
he might not be.
He might not be.
Or maybe he is.
We're just saying that it's possible. Not only that, but I'm like, well, I mean, they're straight characters, guys. Don't worry.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay. What did Ironwood have to be straight for? Glinda? She's never coming back anyway. You know what
Moving
I mean?
forward. Oh, that's true. Yeah, he probably has some kind of Glinda back. Yeah, he can be bi. Moving forward.
Listen, Glinda's never coming back, okay? At this point, she's fucking irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Or if she does come back, I voice her.
Bisexual with a capital B.
I love how he chucks the, like,
microphone and just
away
jumps.
And jumps down.
Man. This was such a power move. Like, I love that so much. Anyway,
Also, I was looking at these guys and, like, there's no way, like, Ironwood would kick his ass, but the more he threw away, I'm like, oh my god, what's his, like, trick gonna be?
Yeah.
What does he have?
Oh my god. Well, first of all, he can control the entire stadium, so
that
was
interesting.
So that was fun, because
I love
like,
how he has to
is this
smack
not
it on
reminiscing
the ground?
of, like, past, if that makes sense? Like, the Vital Festival,
Yeah.
does this not,
It brings you back to volume
does this not
3.
give you the most terrible sort of flashback? So that's
I think
one.
they were using the same sound effect, too.
The hard light dust and all that stuff, stopping the bullet.
Also, the idea that, like, he was aiming for his head is, like, there is no love there. Like, Ironwood wants to fucking murder this person, especially because Watts is the person that hacked into.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, returning to the scene of the crime. And
Yeah.
I think Ironwood knows that. And
No,
so
yeah,
this
they
is
do
personal.
know, because it's not just Atlas, it was also Beacon. And, like, we saw Ironwood's PTSD earlier. He has a bone to pick.
So,
this is why I think they're brothers. In a weird way.
Mhm.
Because there is no love there. It's just like...
There's no, like, love lost between those two
You
right
who
now.
I call brother. Like...
Wait, how did that... All I ever wanted.
Hold on. He says, you who I called brother, how could you shoot down another bro? Like, something like that.
Blow, not
Blow.
bro.
Oh.
Don't shoot down me, bro. You know ancient Egypt when everyone was like, hey, bro, stop it with those 10 plagues,
How can
bro.
you call down another blow? That's
Hey, yo, don't kill my firstborn. That's cringe, bro.
No. I thought bro was in, like, because it's brothers. I thought it was just the short form. No.
You understand, bro.
How can you call down another bro?
And Jesus said unto the Israelites, protect thy bro, for it is bro before hose.
Oh my god, no.
They cut that out one. Listen, we both went to Catholic school. We remember all the times religious figures said bro.
I thought the lyric, for some reason in this moment, I thought it was, you who I called brother, how could you strike down another bro? So how could you strike down your brother? Yeah. But the line is call down another blow, like from God. Anyway, watch Prince of Egypt.
That also implies that, like, Moses had another brother that wasn't Ramses.
Anyway, stop. Stop.
Oh,
Hunter,
man.
don't do this to me. Anyway.
That was also the best scene in that movie.
Mess with the flock, you get the Glock. Oh my god.
I like the idea of instead of turning his staff into a snake, he turns into a gun and shoots.
That's not nice, Hunter.
Oh, wow. Listen, right?
We both went to Catholic school, okay?
If
We're allowed.
God had,
we can do.
If God had the foresight to just give Moses
This
a gun,
blasphemy.
Genesis would be a way shorter story. We wouldn't have to be that, oh, they have to go into the field to get their, like, clay for them. We wouldn't be working them extra hard. It'd be like, no, you'd fucking shoot him, you'd cap everyone in the room, you'd go out, you'd get all the Israelites, you've got a gun. What are they gonna do for you?
Oh my god, I can't do this.
You don't need to, like, steal you don't need God to like split the ocean. All you need to do is, like, GTA style, steal someone's boat.
Oh my god. Stop.
Instead of like the 10 Commandments, it's just like a really, like, ancient gun they carry in the tabernacle.
Oh my god.
The first Indiana Jones movie is like the Nazis wanting to dig up the ancient Glock. Like, ah, yes, Moses' heat.
Anyway, this is why I think they're related. I don't know if I could shoot a former boyfriend in the head, even if they were evil and stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
I think former relationships of mine might be able... No, I shouldn't say that. They're all nice people.
I don't think I could... like, if I were in Ironwood's position and Watts was my former lover, like, I get it. I don't think I could do that. I don't know.
But also, if your former lover that, like, none of your boyfriends have, like, caused a genocide that was then blamed on you.
I know.
So I feel like maybe this isn't relevant experience.
Like, what am I trying to say? I don't know. What I was gonna say was that, I feel like also Watt seems to have some sort of insight on Ironwood. Like, he's like, the Tin Man has traded his heart for his, like, has traded his brain for his heart. And so I wonder if that was, like, a problem, like, always, like, between them. If that makes sense. People do that when they're still in a relationship, but that's not nice. Anyway, and so... Yeah, I feel like there's definitely something there, but I sort of like the idea of them being brothers for the Prince of Egypt AMV that will follow after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
this was my home.
Exactly.
All this pain and devastation.
You were always a pain in the ass.
Inside.
Like that was, you were always
a pain in the ass. They had a
always.
history.
Like
they
that sounds like Big Brother
other.
and Little Brother. Like you
Maybe,
were always a pain in the ass. Like Hunter, it has to be this. It has to be. Okay? I'm gonna make a video about it this week. It has to
We're
be.
doing that
This
video.
is the answer. Okay? I was so blind before. I was so focused on jocks. How could I have been
and
so
Pietro.
blind? The thing was in front of us the entire time.
You have wanted Watts to be with every single character, male character in this show in his age range.
You know what? It's funny how people are like, Cal, why are
the
you
only
making
other person
all the
you
characters...
didn't say was Crow.
I know. You know what's funny? It's like people are like, Cal, why are you making all the characters gay? But nobody's like, Cal, why are all of the characters trying to be related? Like, well, Cal, why are you trying to make all the characters related? Like, why isn't anyone saying that? I don't know.
I also feel like the idea of, I don't know, I feel like Ironwood with a gun is good for memes as well.
And this is like, I guess, Atlas, because these are gravity.
It's like Tetris. It's like floating
well,
platforms.
not just that, but like, you know how in... when Weiss is escaping from the plane, there's the floating ones. I think that's what it's supposed to be. But yeah, definitely...
when I think this kind of looks like when Team Juniper is fighting or training with Team
Coffee.
Not Coffee.
Team Funky. Yeah.
It's in the same kind of. It almost looks like a paintball arena.
This isn't something that happens naturally during the fight. Like, I feel like he just ripped up parts of the ground or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Look at this gun, man. Here's the other thing, okay? They have very similar weapons, and this sort of spirally detail is very similar. That's another reason I think they're related.
Is that there's a Tumblr post where they talk about all these crazy old-timey weapons.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, like RWBY's really going to use them all, because there was one that was a pistol and brass knuckles and a knife. Yeah. And the guy who sticks up, or doesn't stick up, the guy who Yang punches that belonged in Raven's gang in Volume 5 had that gun. Oh. And this gun with like the 18 different cylinders in it, that was also in that Tumblr post of old like black powder guns that are wily and crazy and weird looking.
Oh, so now this gun is in the show.
Yeah, so basically. I think they're going through that list.
They're just going through that list.
Batshit crazy guns.
That's funny.
And then he clicks, and then they're gonna fight.
And then he says, he basically is like, I won't go down without a fight, James,
I won't hesitate, bitch.
I feel like there's just something, I don't know, they're brothers, guys. Like, there's a lot of, you've always been a pain in the ass. I won't go down without a fight, James, right? And using his first name. He doesn't call him Ironwood, he calls him James. And even in a professional capacity, if you're a scientist under him, would you not call him Mr. Ironwood or like Sir? Yeah. Like, Clover's like, Sir. Right, because he's subordinate, and so wouldn't the scientist be subordinate as well?
Maybe that's why he didn't like he felt he could sass the boss.
Doesn't Pietro say Ironwood?
I think he does.
I don't think Pietro says James. I think he says Ironwood. So, Watt saying James, that's the hint, guys. I swear. But yeah, that's actually it.
This was a really good episode.
Oh my god, it was. And I cannot wait for all the theory crafting. Like, this episode makes me so excited. Because there's a lot of setup, right? And we already did a theory about Cinder versus Winter, which is even more possible now. So I'm gonna, like, I'm not repost it, but, like, remind everyone it exists. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes our theories are just sort of up for a week, and then we realize we're wrong. Like, Robin being the traitor. I love that video. I will stand by that fucking video, but was it wrong?
It would have made cool fan fiction, but was it accurate? Not necessarily.
The death relic, somebody said, because it has the same blue and, like, there's a relic of destruction, creation, knowledge, choice, and then the relic of I'm gonna fuck up that bitch, and that is the one.
Because it really does. It's blue, it's gold. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But yeah, and so lots of theory crafting this week. I think that will be really good. I loved
the action in this. I'm glad that they gave us a really action-heavy episode, and I loved how panicked it felt.
Yeah.
I love that there were, like, fight scenes.
It was just so good.
Because we've had action, but we haven't had, like, fight scenes the same way.
Yeah.
In a little bit.
And I think it was just so good.
Yeah. I'm so looking forward to...
And this is a lot of setup for the end.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the next 3 episodes, like, are gonna be crazy. 11, 12, 13.
What I do think might happen that I hadn't mentioned is that in the Ironwood, Robin, Clover fight versus Tyrion, I think maybe Tyrion
You mean Clover, Crow, and Robin?
Yes.
You said Ironwood.
Oh, sorry. When I think we don't see in the opening Clover fight because I believe that Tyrion might use his semblance to break his.
You think Clover's gonna die?
Not die, but just get not dead, mortally wounded.
Okay.
And then he'll be in the back, and that's how we will learn.
Like Crow.
Yes.
Like,
and then we get the story of his.
You thought that you hurt the other people around you.
Yeah.
But I thought that.
And then Art like, wow, this is a lot of bad luck for you. It's just like, my good luck hasn't always been like this, and we might get something like that. But we also might be able to get like confirmation.
I'm unlucky in my own way, Crow. Like
of confirmation of like we had a couple ideas after he attacked Fiona what his semblance is. So maybe like we might get
his
the
semblance
aura
seems
breaking
to be
semblance.
Aura breaking and stuff. So you can basically hit someone and then a small part of their aura will dissipate. And stuff like that. So yeah,
that also looks like a double barrel.
It is, and so I think that like in one of them there's dust, and then in the other there's bullets, and maybe they form together. Like someone in the chat I think is saying that right now. I bet each chamber is 2 different dusts together. Yeah, like that's what I think too. What if Clover sucks the luck from other people? That's sort of unfortunate.
That's really bad.
It is, yeah.
Suck the luck from other people.
That sucks, sis. How does that even work? Is it like Animal Crossing where sometimes you just wake up and you have to wear a specific shirt and like you fall down all over the place?
Luck is like physically quantifiable.
I don't know.
That we have like luck cells and as we do red cells and white cells.
But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed. All right, I think we're good for our analysis. Yes. There's no other scenes, so I think we're done. My throat hurts. So
we're gonna have a lot of videos.
We're gonna take a rest. We're gonna have a lot of videos, everything like that. You guys, if you didn't already see it, you guys should check out my song cover of the Volume 7 OP. It's, just a suggestion.
Live and unplugged from Cal's shower.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still upset you haven't done. Leave a comment if you think Cal should do a cover of Toss a Coin for Your Witcher.
And I'll just like sit on the toilet or something like that.
So I feel like that could get like singing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher sitting on my toilet. Yeah. That could be an excellent video.
Like an excellent viral video? Okay. Anyway.
That could get us places.
So I hope that you guys enjoyed the stream. We had over 100 people in here, so like feels good, man. Yeah. Because I mean, Arnold gets a lot. Arnold gets like 700-800 and like over 1,000. So it's like we have like basically 10% of what Arnold usually gets. That's pretty good. Like, considering how big Arnold's channel is compared to ours, like, I feel great. Like, I'm like, our streams are great, Hunter. That just makes me happy. But yeah, so that's everything. And we will see you guys later. And we're going to wait a couple seconds to make sure that the stream is all cut up so we don't, caught up so we don't accidentally leave them. Bye, guys.